Teravan Sannai, Silu Denatama, Sopatvinda. All blessings to everybody. Today the third day, so a bit like...
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth pairing.
The hardest part today is also very tough. Tomorrow, it's just one day in your life. But make sure you are more stricter, more strict this last day. So that means strict in the sense, no talking. I can know whether you have talked if I find somebody laughing now. Okay. All right, doesn't matter. It's not. Don't look at other people talking. Okay. Looking at others' fault is also a fault. So, but try your best. Only not tomorrow. You have to. Any questions up till now? Before I start giving the rest of this thing. Please. How many of you have finished from the middle of the book? In the middle of that, I told you a section. Form sutta, form penapu bama. That number page, how many of you have sort of close to the end of it, or no need so close, but at least you have passed the half mark? Okay. So who has not managed to? Did you manage? Pass the half mark? Okay. Anyone who couldn't pass the half mark? Doesn't matter, don't worry. Okay, you're slow. At least the half mark? Bhagyak kiyawada komadege? Huh? Nadda? Bhagyarat adu ittama? No, the one gentleman. Okay. ඒක නිකන් අමාරු වගේද නැත්නම් තේරෙනවද? තේරෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. තේරෙන්න කවුරුත් කිව්වේ නැහනේ. ඕක කියවන්න තියෙන මන්ත්‍රයක් වගේ. පුළුවන් නේද ඒක කරන්න? ඕකේ. එහෙම කරන්න බලන්න. මොකක් හරි එතකොට අර ඔළුව නිකන් මෙම කළා ඒ පුණ්‍ය බලය යම් වෙනසක් කරાવી. So welcome, Venerable. I had to tell you much merit. Thank you last time too. I got the opportunity in the city, right? Yes, yeah, that was quite a memorable, even it was a small group, but for me I felt like I was teaching something in America. That gave me some taste. And also here, this is now after the 7 years I have come to, actually this has been there a long time I want to do. My teacher was encouraging me to do this many years back, but the time came only 2 years ago, a retreat with the suttas. I've been telling them also that in a retreat only there can be some kind of karmic operation. So with the Dhamma and use it practically. So now it's happening. And I'm glad that I was to come. I had this virus. Not now, don't worry. But I'm still not completely well. Like yesterday I was there. Now normally I do 3 hours and even more. But when I do that, I feel something little different with my body. So I have to balance it. Before I couldn't talk even properly. I felt so tired. Now nearly 5 months. Somebody says that it takes 8 months. Chikungunya, I don't know whether you have it here. Something like dengue, chikungunya. So it's kind of, maybe in the Southeast Asia you have this. So anyway, when you're fit, I hope all of you also can make effort. That's the only time that when you have the strength physically, And then anytime you can prepare to face whatever you have to face, the reality of life. So, did you all come today or yesterday?
Last night.
Last night, okay. And all right. You must be tired, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. May I pay respects?
Sorry?
May I pay respects?
I don't know how many vasa you are. How many vasa?
15.
15 vasa, okay. Okay, you can pay respects. Sorry. Sukhi hotu, nibbana pacho hotu. I know you're also doing quite a good service. May you get strength for all that. And strength comes from finally letting go, detachment, so with wisdom. And I am very glad that I heard from your pupil yesterday, that with the suttas, that you are also inclined to refer the suttas, I guess, for the practice. I think it's the really right way. You're going to get some any blessing from the Buddha Sasana, according to my understanding. And Bhante was very, very, I don't miss him actually. From the beginning, he directed us to the suttas. So very few monks I knew that who practiced, he was all life tudong, but also he had a very good grasp of using the Dhamma with the sutta. So this one sort of sequence of sutta, how we gave when I first came, that's the same thing I'm giving to them. But 5 days is not enough for that. But so I'm giving them some idea that how to, apply and get a Dhamma mental picture of the Dhamma. Just a little bit they can practice that, but mostly they are reading fast. So that's mixed with another experience I had in India with some of the, who developed Samadhi. So who inspired me or encouraged me to do this 2 years back. And so I mixed both of them. So because I'm so greedy, I told them I want to give them much as possible in this. But they will know, at least they would know how to apply the suttas as a meditation. They were meditation objects. They were not, so not to try to understand it, right? It has to come, because if Buddha was alive, he would give you the appropriate teaching. So this is not there for us, like we are having a bunch of keys, so we are trying one key. So don't try too much if it doesn't open. You try the next one. There'll be one that just opens. That's how you have to use the suttas. So please, Venerable, take a seat. I would like to know my recent pupils' pupils' information. I think maybe pupil means, this devotees brought me to me, and so I was also busy doing other programs and also recovering from this. So anyone who approached me, I would definitely help. I would not try to this thing. So it was surprising because like another monk also, Venerable also, so they had suddenly different ideas. So I thought, I see that best thing is where you let go. You don't try to control anything. So if you go out to serve, because I have seen many, many long years in the sasana, the people who, it's sort of instructed, they had their own intentions. So it was always not suiting the purpose of the individual. So that's why I was reluctant to even come to public and all that, unless I got some clear kind of calling. So this now happened, this is the second time. Last time I came, I think I had a near-death experience at Kailash Manasarova. And that's the one that told me that, at least I would have shared something. This one was another one. I think I told them from the beginning, because they'll wonder why I tell them to read fast. So it was based on a certain experience from one of these, the Hindu yogis who developed Samadhi. And they have some kind of that divine eye more. So I have this connection, also some karma with them for many years now. So they showed me a point, they showed me the importance of suttas. In short, if I tell, they didn't know that I had this book all the time, Samyutta Nikaya, in the caves or wherever I was going. But as a young boy, I had it very well practiced. But then when I had to live the monk's life, I had to live a very tough life actually. Tough means not by choice, not by force or anything. I also like to live that ascetic life. So then I used more samadhi. So inclined to samadhi for many years. So little bit only reading, contemplating, or just when I face real tough, difficult times, I applied, because samadhi doesn't work in when there's like lot of painful feeling. So that time only I practiced. So never specifically, that which I did when I was young, before being a monk. So after monk, then Bhante also tried to encourage me to read more suttas and contemplate, but he passed away after some time. Then I went on my own. So then only recently, this 2 years ago, that this was really knocked to my head by this, like a certain, like a sadhu. He actually, are you familiar in India? Have you been? No, I don't know. So okay, so so somebody says now, when I have this part also, so they say like some people are interested in this mystical part. So they where were we in California? There's one devotee who flew from Australia. He was there, and he was trying to warn his sister not to go too much now to all these mystical things, that the direct Dhamma is here. So later, so he called them, what is this? No, don't, the track punning defa. In Sri Lankan language, that's called like, don't jump the track, like, So it's a very little bit insulting to say, I don't know how to say it in English. It's like you jump the track, somebody who has off his mind, like.
Off track.
Yeah, off track. But it's in Sinhalese language, it sounds a bit more not very polite. So, in fact, so they were telling them, because they like that side of mind, especially ladies and all that, they are more kind of mystical, and even my mom, seeing devas and all that. So it's okay, that's all right, no problem. So, he's so much into it because he had been ordained and been to many programs, and he appreciated this with the suttas, how that is very solid, and the contemplation, the wisdom is more stronger. And actually, for me, I feel it's the real wisdom. You'll know the Buddha actually. So, and your refuge will be to the Buddha if some experience, clarity comes, because through his instruction, this clarity comes, not from my teaching or whatever. So he later told me, Bhante, someone out of track put you on track. That is regarding this. So sometimes they are also useful. It's correct. Track panna kenek track එක දැම්මලු පාන්සෙ. ඒක නේද තාපසවරු ගැන කියන්නේ. So I have covered Skandha Vagga. So anyway, whatever you like to listen, up to you, Venerable. This nun, and they have been, I don't know how you're getting on. Did you finish the Kanda?
No, not yet finished.
Okay, close to, I hope.
I invested the word of Buddha.
Okay.
The word of the Buddha, it actually has no Chinese version.
The,
You found one? I looked all over, just couldn't find one.
I'll share. Even some suttas I found.
so English one, did you try with the Kanda?
Yeah.
In English, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the English, don't worry now, the time is passing, so, but I'm very concerned about for each language, if it's in your own language, it's very important, because the way the Buddha discourses and all that, it has a certain sequence, and it has an effect that will happen in this thing. You can't, like from my teaching, it won't come. So later on when you get it, you use it, don't worry. This is not like you have to read all that, it's just one verse, one link. Jatipacha Jaramarana, that may be, birth is the cause of, old age and death. That simple link can trigger impermanence in a very different way. So don't leave after you read like you understood. You have to be silent and again go through those things, and one thing might spark one day. It's like that. I hope, did you manage to... The Kanda Vagga, like towards the end, or like
Yes, we're going to come back later and into the Salayatana.
already? Okay. That's okay. So tomorrow is there, and Salayatana. Okay, today I start Salayatana, and tomorrow this Venerable is also. I think. I don't think I had to ask them. They must be. You had a very other nice young monk, very enthusiastic, and I think he'll be going back to Italy, no? Today. So yesterday he met me. I heard you go to Tudong also there, like very nice, very good. And in Italy, I think that basis there of Assisi, St. Francis of Assisi, really it must be. So people have those memories in the subconscious from generations. In Sri Lanka also this is very easy. It's too much easy. People are not doing it, that's unfortunately. But there it must be little this thing. But I really, for me also, St. Francis of Assisi was somebody who struck. I could relate to him very much. I was there on one program I had, and then I was there as one of the places. I don't know which one where his body was kept or something. I can't remember. I meditated a little bit there. And there's another one, flying monk, right? How do you call that? Levitating monk in Italy. Yeah. He used to be very devoted to Mother Mary, and then he had no knowledge, not too much, knowledge, and everybody took him like a fool. And then, but he had that faith, and then finally he became very popular. He used to just one time pray and to see he was levitating, and then others who saw him like that, then a lot of people started to come, and he became very popular. He was called the Flying Monk, maybe in Italy. No, he was famous also. No. This was, I don't know the name in Italian. I wanted to suggest you Samma Ditti Sutta. This also you must read on your own, okay? Let me show you. This is in page, let's see. Samma Ditti Sutta, 319. That one you make a note of it, and you can read tonight, or especially from this, let me tell you from which section. 319 Sinhaleka Koddanna. Samma Ditti Sutra kila? 346? 343. 343 Sinhala. Samma Ditti Sutta 319. This one specially for your walking meditation, just to get an idea, you must, you can use it. Even 323 page, being, clinging, craving, to get an idea, like, okay, and all these pages, 325, 326, like that. Especially 326, mentality and materiality, how the Buddha has defined, just to get an idea then. Because the main thing is to know that this is conditioning this. Okay, and the conditioning thing is impermanent itself. So the effect has to be impermanent. That's the main... where is that? She was only coming for today. There's one lady there. She knows that we are... Okay.
She's sitting there.
Oh, it's okay. You heard that I had a virus, so It's
Disruptive. Sorry.
good excuse anyway, polite excuse. No, I see you are so interested, really it inspired me to find a group. I can feel your vibrations, very good. I'm very happy. I mean, all this coming all this way and all this, even if there's one or two, it's worth it. So this you have to read on your own, okay? Just to get an idea, just to make, so you have some idea what, when consciousness you hear, what is consciousness and what is name and form, like that. Just for your background knowledge. I want to tell you in the beginning, but it doesn't matter, you can read now. Where's Attanagalla? Which page? The beginning, the one who had English? After the Kanda, right?
154.
144.
154.
One thing I want to know. Most of you, almost, who has not read more than half of Kandavagga? Okay, almost all of you, okay, or everybody. So I just want to ask you all something. Now I'm speaking and all that, right? How many of you, now if you remain consciously, just suddenly like this, in this now 1-2 days, now the third day also, now you're hearing me and you're seeing me, and then, so this experience you're going through right now, can you bring into mind that this is body feeling perception, like that? Like this is what I'm experiencing, is not taking it subjectively, just like objectively. Can you sort of in the mind it comes, so what I'm experiencing now is body feeling perception in there? How many of you can feel like that? Not that you're seeing exactly body feeling perception like that, but it's like you can generalize an experience. How many of you don't generalize? You don't generalize like now when I'm talking, or say if I shout or somebody shouts later, that you can bring that, and it's like this is a body feeling perception, not taking it personally. Can you do that? Or you can't? Anyone who can't?
It has to be, it's just coming to, we're trying to do, I'm trying to do that, just detach a little bit and see that.
Okay.
But it has to be consciously.
Yeah, correct. Consciously, definitely. But at least consciously, can you bring it? Who can't bring it? Then all of you have read it. Otherwise, definitely it's repetition again and again. At least in a mental picture, you should be getting that this body feeling perception. All right? මේක වේදනා සංඥා සංකාර කියලා ගන්න පුළුවන් නිකන් අර නිකන් මේ එක හොඳට පේනව නෙමෙයි හිතලා අපිට මේ නිකන් දැන් හිතුවොත් එහෙම ගන්න පුළුවන්ද බැයිද පුළුවන් නේ බැරිය කවර් ඉන්නවද එහෙම කියන්න කමන්නේ ඒක අර කියවුවා නම් වෙන්න ඕනේ මොකද ආයි if you have read it it's repeating like that, at least that much. Okay, so does it come like that? Okay. Yes. Okay. What about you, Venerable?
Repetition is very helpful for me.
Okay. Does it you can get some kind of like a mental picture that, I mean, general idea, this what you're experiencing is body feeling perception, not taking it subjectively, yeah, at least that's. So now we are going to, this I must tell you, all these things what I'm giving you all is not my sequence or my ideas. I have not such a thorough way of, what I found was that Bante had a very, Bante means Vimala Bante, so he will give short advice. Any monk comes, he says that if you want to attain the, path and fruit, read the Kandavagga Salayatana Vagga. Like that he shortly advised. not like this so much, he has no opportunity, he never had the contact with public like this. So anyway, then he used to tell me like, it's just a sudden shift. After that is the Salayatana Vagga. Okay, so it's a more elaborate contemplation to the 6 sense organs, and but you must be familiar this way at least. And the Kanda Vagga, I hope you had some memory. The first I told you about how the Arahant, regarding he will not be distracted by, that part is clear for you all. And how is also, you find that the Seed Sutta, yesterday the Seed Sutta, we went, the end of, it was very late, and then we went to another sutta, right? I don't know, before that also, they had very good suttas. Yeah, that sutta also, so they... now we go to the Salayatana Vagga, right? So tonight you can start. I'm not going to be very long, because I am going to put a walk after some time, because I think I need that exercise to survive some more days here. I'm eating, sleeping, right? Because this whole thing, 3 hours I sleep normally, but anyway, now maybe it's a little 1 or 2 hours more. I try to, it's difficult for me, eating also very problem. But hopefully I can, another 3 weeks, maybe this will fully disappear. Anyway, take it as it comes. Much worse, I couldn't give a speech, I was unable, now it all improved, but still it's not gone. So but I'm enjoying, I'm very happy now. The simplest health makes you feel very happy. You can appreciate. 154. මාන්ට මේකේ මාක් දාලා නැහනේ. සලායතනිකේ. Okay, අද book එක තියෙනවද book? All right, thank you. Can you keep this and tell the mark? Okay. He's a very smart student. All of you are smart, okay? Not smart, you're earnest, so that's better than smart. Am I right? Earnestness is better than smartness? මාක්කල නෑ වගේනේ මාත්‍ර මතු ඇතිනේ කමන්නේ no problem I will නෑනේ කමන්නේ anyway I'll find the suttas what I have to tell you ඔක්කොම තියෙනවද සලායතනෙක තියෙනවද මට page එක නෙමෙයි නම කියන්න හරි පුළුවන්
අජාතනිච්ච
පළවෙනි එකනේ සලායතනෙකේ හතර හරි 155 මට ඒවා කියන්න මට කියන්න ඒක නැත්නම් රෙඩිසි මන්ට 155 and සිංහල එක 153 සිංහල is 1 I've told you how to read this, how to relax. And whenever you are, you have to relax, look at yourself from outside the body, how it's seated. You must keep your body in a very relaxed way and also keep it comfortable. I told you can even bring your bed even if you like, just not to sleep, but be alert and relax. and you must feel the natural breath when you're trying to concentrate without like now when you sit down, if you relax, not trying to observe the breath, not consciously, you don't try to observe. When you're relaxing, you will notice it naturally because your attention to the body will become more, and that way you will see this function in the body of inhaling and exhaling. That's how it should happen. Not as a meditation, it should come naturally. Okay, so that means you have rested the other parts of the body and you have come to some degree of the present moment. Then in that kind of state only you must relax, and your forehead starts to work more. This area starts to work more. You just actually put those thoughts to an empty mind. That's how it should happen. So that's why the emptying the mind should happen when you sit samadhi through metta or anapanasati. How many of you came to the morning who couldn't come? 3 who couldn't come? 3:30, 3:20 who couldn't come? Okay. All right. Okay, all others came. You hear the thing. Very good. You made use of that time as well as that, because that's the only time you're given for samadhi. Okay, in this retreat. So at least I told you 1 hour you can do from 6 to 12 and 12 to 6. Another 1 hour. That way, so that samadhi, if you're doing like second time, you can do more samadhi and then read. Okay, but now you're in the first time, you're not supposed to do that. So that in this 5-day retreat, I'm trying to make sure you are going to go by force with something when you go out of this place. So that's why I tell you to just read, and cover just the page, even if you don't understand. 155, okay, we read the external. Because forms are impermanent. What is impermanent is suffering. What is suffering is non-self. What is non-self should be seen as it really is with correct wisdom. Thus, this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Sounds, odors, taste, tactile objects, mental phenomena are impermanent. What is impermanent is suffering. What is suffering is non-self. What is non-self should be seen as it really is with correct wisdom. Thus, this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Seen thus, bhikkhus, the instructed noble disciple experiences revulsion towards forms, revulsion towards sounds, revulsion towards odors, revulsion towards taste, revulsion towards tactile objects, revulsion towards mental phenomena. Experiencing revulsion, he becomes dispassion. Through dispassion, his mind is liberated. When he is liberated, there comes the knowledge, is liberated. He understood, destroyed his birth, the holy life had been lived. What had to be done had been done. There is no more for this state of being. Before my enlightenment,
Dutiya Ajjatan. Number 9.
No, this is the one I want. This is not the one I want to read. Let this one.
Next one.
Yeah, doesn't matter. I got this one. Internal as impermanent in the 3 times. In the Tunkare, 3. Okay, 3 times. Eka page එක සිංහලෙන් කට්ටියට කියන්න පුළුවන්. Page 157, the next page. Bhikkhu's eye is impermanent. Now this is the same like the khandhas, Because the eye is impermanent, both of the past and the future. Now you must slowly, like when you say the past, I told you last time about the khandhas also, the same reflection is there. But this is to the eye, the organ. You must think, at least few minutes ago or few hours ago, this has changed from what it was to something else, all right? Even if you take 1 week ago or even years ago, it's not the same eye you're having. And there have been never in anybody's eye, whether you could be the greatest person in this planet as a human being or anybody, that this eye did not change. All right? If there is somebody, maybe Elon Musk or somebody, he has created something like that, maybe I can disrobe. So this you must go back. Just really, it looks very obvious, but these are exercises for you to get impermanent perception. So these are not just simple, you have to learn to, so you have more stillness, and you can appreciate this. You can do this exercise. Otherwise you feel tired to do this. Okay, just go back, like whatever, just think how the I that arose in the past has changed, definitely. And it happens to everybody, every being in this world. So take a deep breath and really, try to mentally sort of make it a personal awareness in your mind that how it has arisen and it has definitely passed away. Okay, if an I arises in the future, the same thing will happen. It's not something that we have to tell loud like this. We have to exercise our mind, visualizing of the mind, to see that, so that you really makes it comfortable or familiar in your awareness that if a I arise in the future, it will definitely pass away. And if you properly do that, your desires, your attachment, or your invisible holding to this body will diminish. Okay? And then it says that if it happens like that, what to say of this present I? That is now what you are experiencing. So it is like an overall analyzing of this I, for the past, future, and the present. And when you do that, you will be letting go. And if you're really properly applying, you will feel lighter than before you contemplated. All this contemplation depends on someone who is detached and want to detach further. Okay, someone who is very greedy, and this is not the thing for them. All right, so this is, but you might not be able to do a lot of times like this, but I'm giving you an idea. Later on, when you want to at home or anywhere develop this thing, you can take like these few suttas, but there are exercises you must do. So they will, slowly open up your wisdom eye. It's sleeping now, most of us. So, exercise karanna one. And the future. Not to speak of the present, seeing thus because the instructed noble disciple is indifferent towards the I of the past. He does not seek delight in the I of the future, and is practicing for revulsion toward the I of the present, for its fading away and cessation. The E is impermanent, the nose is impermanent, the tongue is impermanent, the body is impermanent, the mind is impermanent, both of the past and the future. Not to speak of the present. Seen thus because the instructed noble disciple is indifferent towards the mind of the past, for its fading away and cessation. So he's put to suffering. I mean, the I is suffering like that, and the other one is I is not self. We can go through the I is not self. Now, bhikkhu, the I is non-self, both of the past and the future, not to speak of the present. So you must apply this. Whatever you experience in the past was never you there, because it follows with impermanence. All right. So really now, when these things go into your mind, if you had some sadness from some incident from the past, this will clear it. More that perception gets, I know people who come to the retreat, that unresolved trauma or whatever, this is the final medicine. You're seeing the truth about what your experiences are, and then you realize that this is not to be taken seriously. It's like people who couldn't make up their mind, and that memory, this will, if they do these exercises, definitely, it will not like you're pretending you're not feeling the suffering will slowly fade away, because the cause of that is ignorance. That ignorance will be fading away, the wisdom will be arising. This is part of wisdom, seeing the truth of your experiences. And this is just a start, when you do this exercise more with the help of the teaching like this, then the wisdom eye can just, blast. Blast means it will have a very special, there are levels of its experience. It's still like not clearly these things, like a blind eye still. Okay? So when it slowly starts to, work, and then there are times that, there's like a wow experience. This is it. Very in a simple way. That's in the right direction. So I tell people, when they get like that, it's not that they attain some path or something, you must not think like that. You must continue in the right direction. This simple, small but profound experience can happen with your more steady mind and purified mind. So if you really want to, after the retreat also, you continue disciplining yourself, sharpening your faculty, your mind to experience these things. Knowledge will be there. Knowledge, this is not something, I told you last time that knowledge is one thing, but experiencing this is a very different thing. ඊළඟ මොකද්ද?
ද්විතීය බාහිර නිච්චය.
Okay. 160.
155 600.
මට තනියම හොයාගන්න වෙන කමන්නේ.
Number 10 sorry.
Where do you tell us now? Okay, we go to 160. That is Dukkha Samudaya කියලා මොකක්ද? Rising of suffering again. Okay, in the 160 page, Abhinandana හරි මොකක් හරි? Abhinandana 1-2 කියලා නේද? So 160. Because one who seeks delight in the eye seeks delight in suffering. One who seeks delight in suffering, I say, is not freed from suffering. One who seeks delight in the ear, in the nose, in the tongue, in the body, in the mind, seeks delight in suffering. One who seeks delight in suffering, I say, is not freed from suffering. One who does not seek delight in eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, does not seek delight in suffering. One who does not seek delight in suffering, I say, is freed from suffering. Because the other one, not the delight, the other sutta, the third one, because the rising, continuation, production and manifestation of the eye is the rising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death, the rising of the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is the rising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death. I told you this, how the way I would contemplate this would be like, think of like empty space, or like you're in Nibbana, nothing is there, all right? Or the mother's womb, and then suddenly this from thin air or emptiness, this particular I start to manifest, all right? So in the eye and ear, nose, tongue, when these organs are manifesting, in these organs only you'll find disease happening, okay? All right, you have to mentally picture like this. And disease, the manifestation of aging and death happens. Thin air and nibbana or emptiness, you can't have, you don't have, the khandhas are not there, and then the organs are not there, all right? So you just picture them. The aging will happen, death will happen, all right? The rising of ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is the rising of suffering. All right? The continuation of disease, the manifestation of age and death. So really you are seeing out of samsara, how suffering samsara is actually. It will become more this thing. So this you have to look like this. The cessation, subsiding and passing away of the eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind is the cessation of suffering. Okay, these are Buddha's words. So we can't make our own teaching, all right? Like tell that, no, this is happiness. This will be so, and it is so. Sometimes we have got used to that suffering, so that's the problem. So the subsiding of the disease, the passing away of aging and death. to kind of what is the other ones?
Dutiya Upada Sutra. Next.
කොච්චර page එක කීයක?
එතනම තමයි.
එතනමද? Okay, 168 අර ಜಾති කියලා නෝ නේද? ලොකු මේ heading එකක් කියන්නේ ಜಾති. Okay, ඒ කියනවා subject to birth. Okay, 168 bhikkhus all is subject to birth, and what bhikkhu is all that is subject to birth? I is subject to birth. Forms, eye consciousness, eye contact, whatever feeling arises with eye contact as condition, that too is subject to birth. Ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition. So you must sweep to those different organs, okay, your attention in your mind. It's like when it's told, it's like you must sweep your attention, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, whatever feeling arises with. So you should have a mental picture of this function. Mind contact as a condition, that too is subject to birth. So it should arise, subject to birth means it arises in time. Okay? Time is measured in these things. If you don't have a body, if you don't have, like we have stars, planets, all that, and this body, so this is the material part in this whole universe or in the existence. So the time is measured, time exists in this body, feeling, perception. Okay? The concept of time, concept of time. The ear, the tongue, the body, the mind, whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition, that too is subject to birth. Seeing thus, bhikkhu, the instructed noble disciple, experienced revulsion towards the eye, towards forms, towards eye consciousness, towards eye contact. So you can apply to your own eye, okay? Like you are, that's why when you're reading this, time to time you must come to the attention of your present body. Alright? So it's not going to be just a mental kind of, or just a sound repetition. It should become something that you're applying to you also. Okay? Noting it in your mind, each organ in you. Alright? Not too much doing that, because then again it becomes a technique. There. So you should get a bit that, and then the idea of the Dhamma that is told here should be contemplated in your mind. So it's like a picture, you have like a screen, where the wisdom can, come, ignite. So you have to have the screen where you have a thinking picture, a visualizing picture of the Dhamma. When you're doing that, then you're really coming to what? First the Sati Sambojjhanga, the enlightened factor is this thing, and when you're analyzing like that, it becomes Dhamma Vijja Bojjhanga. Alright? Abandoning nerves and background. Okay, 172. Migajala. 179. 179, the single is 1. Venerable Sir, it is said a lone dweller. I am going with short form, okay? Lone dweller. In what way, Venerable Sir, is one a lone dweller? And in what way is one dwelling with a partner? There are Migajala forms cognizable by the eye that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu seeks delight in them, welcomes them and remains holding to them, delight arises. When there is delight, there is infatuation. When there is infatuation, there is bondage. Bound by the fetter of delight, Migajala bhikkhu is called one dwelling with a partner. There are Migajala sounds cognizable by the ear, odors cognizable by the nose, taste cognizable by the tongue, tactile objects cognizable by the body, mental phenomena cognizable by mind, that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu seeks delight them, now this third day also you will feel like, where am I? Okay? Like you could have expected something like it's normal, so you might feel tomorrow is the day when the cake is little baking. All right. so wait for tomorrow. After tomorrow, you can chase me. Okay. So just, I know inside your heart sometimes some things, working. Just tomorrow. Okay. I told you, give me the 4th day and 5th day. You're also then you're leaving. All right. So just have patience. All right. Mental phenomena cognizable by the mind that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu seeks delight in them, he is called one dwelling with a partner. Migajala, even though a bhikkhu who dwells thus resorts to forests and grove, to remote lodgings, where there are few sounds and little noise, desolate, hidden from people, appropriate for seclusion, he is still called one dwelling with a partner. For what reason? Because craving is his partner and he has not abandoned it. Therefore he is called one dwelling with a partner. There are Migajala forms cognizable by the eye that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu does not seek delight in them, does not welcome them and does not remain holding to them, delight ceases. When there is no delight, there is no infatuation. When there is no infatuation, there is no bondage. Released from the fetter of delight, Migajala bhikkhu is called a lone dweller. There are Migajala sounds cognizable by the ear, odors cognizable by the nose, taste cognizable by the tongue, tactile objects cognizable by the body, mental phenomena cognizable by the mind, that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu does not seek delight in them, he is called a lone dweller. Migajala, even though a bhikkhu who dwells thus lives in the vicinity of a village, associating with bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, with male and female lay followers, with kings and royal ministers, with sectarian teachers and their disciples, he is still called a lone dweller. For what reason? Because craving is his partner and he has abandoned it, therefore he is called a lone dweller. Okay, next one also Samidhi. Samidhi කියලා තියෙනවනේ දෙකේ. 181 English one, 174 the next page. 174 the English one. On one occasion the Blessed One was dwelling at Rajagaha in a bamboo grove. You don't read this fast, right? When you're on your own, but when you have to cover, you have to read fast. But you have to relax. Okay, don't even say it verbally, mentally, and make that use it to get your contemplation. That's how you're using the sutta. Samadhi approached the Blessed One and said to him, Venerable Sir, it is said Mara Mara. In what way, Venerable Sir, might there be Mara or the description of Mara? Where there is I, Samadhi, where there are forms, I consciousness, things to be cognized by I consciousness, there Mara exists, or the description of Mara. Where there is ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, where there are mental phenomena, mind consciousness, things to be cognized by mind consciousness, there Mara exists, or the description of Mara. Where there is no I, Samadhi, no forms, no I consciousness, no things to be cognized by I consciousness, there Mara does not exist, nor any description of Mara. Where there is no ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, no mental phenomena, no mind consciousness, no things to be cognized by mind consciousness, there Mara does not exist, nor any description of Mara. In the Dhamma, Buddha explains places where, like there are two feelings in the programs also I explain. There is the sensual the sensual world contacted, you get feelings, and then you have the, when you let go them, and then you have like it's called more spiritual feeling, of peace and all that. That's normally experienced in the mind. So normally when you attain first dhyana, it is said you have put a darkness to Mara. Okay, so he can't find you in a way. That means first dhyana means you have no desire for the five senses, and you have one thought. Normally you have many thoughts because it is connected with the five senses. All right, you have monkey mind and all that, but when you have one thought, it's dhyana. So in that case, now even how do you find Mara in the mind? There is another Mara there. You have no anger and greed, but I have told, in short, I will tell you fast, but you have still what? There are three things, anger, greed, delusion. So what delusion of what? Because it's still a feeling, it's a component of consciousness, and when you have feeling and still consciousness arising, you have sense of I. This sense of I is still there. Even an anagami, the non-returner, they have the sense of I. So through wisdom only you transcend the body, feeling, perception and so on. Where if you are really transcended, you will get this clear idea that it's a cause and effect, and that sense, that delusionary idea of I will be absent. So that's a point where you can know for yourself, that well, this could be this is the end of this whole, but the highest experience you can get. So otherwise, always associated with body, feeling, perception, you will get a sense of I. If there's attachment also, there will be attachment, because that's the nature of body, feeling, perception. With a human body, with a deva body or a Brahma body, it will be always creating tanha. Where there is no I, samidhi, or no forms, no I consciousness, no things to be cognized by the I consciousness, there Mara does not exist, nor any description of Mara. Where there is no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no mental phenomena, no mind consciousness, no things to be cognized by mind consciousness, there Mara does not exist, nor any description of Mara. This is also very important. Where Venerable Sir, it is said a being. It's in the next page, 175. 182 in the Sinhalese one. These three sequence of suttas are very important. Okay, Samidhi. Venerable Sir, it is said a being. In what way, Venerable Sir, might there be a being or a description of a being? I hope they have not repeated. You try to repeat, okay, on your own this kind of sutta, because it's very important for you to get a mental picture that associating this body, feelings, or eye, ear, nose, tongue, and the conscious experience using the eye, ear, nose, tongue, that associating this only, you get an idea of being, not real. Because whatever you are taking, it's coming in the mind, you're not getting you're not clear about its true nature of changing. So with the real more clarity of that is a changing and disappearing thing, then the idea of that there is a person will fade away. Okay, and the clinging also will fade away, because clinging and the idea of being, they're all together. So simultaneously, when you reduce clinging, you get a more clearer picture of the Dhamma, and with the clearer picture of the Dhamma, the illusionary idea of that there's a person will also fade away. Venerable Sir, it is said, suffering. What way, Venerable Sir, might there be suffering? The description of suffering. And the fourth one, Samidhi. Venerable Sir, it is said, the world. In what way, Venerable Sir, might there be a world or the description of the world? Where there is I, Samidhi, where there are forms, I consciousness, things to be cognized by I consciousness, there the world exists, or the description of the world. Where there is ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind, where there are mental phenomena, mind consciousness, things to be cognized by the mind consciousness, there the world exists, or the description of the world. Where there is no I, Samidhi, no forms, no I consciousness, no things to be cognized by I consciousness, there the world does not exist. There the world does not exist, nor any description of the world. Where there is no ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind, no mental phenomena, no mind consciousness, no things to be cognized by mind consciousness, there the world does not exist, nor any description of the world. So in this part of the world, sometimes so much into science. Recently I had a discussion with a very, very nice professor actually. He's a monk now, so he has written a lot of books. Actually, I would like to have those books because to relate to this part of the world, I think it's very important. But here it's like, I also came to this through science, especially I have told some background of that. So he was telling that something about, that they have found through the telescope and about another galaxies and something he explained. So I just have to remind him, being a Buddhist, that, that was, so he was telling it's a big finding. So, yes, okay, but it's still with the eyes, okay? You're using this eye and you are getting a consciousness. And it's like actually still in the sensual world. You have not changed consciousness to a higher consciousness, in terms of different dimensions. So you are in the same type of consciousness where you see galaxies or whatever. It's from the eye, the visual, this thing, and maybe you make some theory from what you're seeing. So it's like a well, you are looking from the well, you're seeing a little further away from the well, but you're not really raising your consciousness. So only in samadhi, through faith, through mindfulness, that you're really going really far away, okay, in this body. All right, so you're raising the consciousness. So the consciousness goes up and down depending on your, so if you have more defilements, more unmindfulness, then you're getting lower consciousness. Okay, you're getting more purified, more mindful, and even now, even like samadhi, it's actually very far away from the five senses. That is your real spaceship that is going. This is a mind ship, okay, not spaceship. So it's going very far. And vipassana, now I told you, you get wow experience in case, you are even trying to trigger that while you are in a retreat or in your general life. It is further than even that. It's unthinkable vipassana experience. It is infinite. That's why there's no point trying to explain your experiences. You tell the way how to get it, but you can't talk about it. It's unthinkable. It's called achintya in the Pali. The things like vipassana experience, dhyana experience. Dhyana experience are already unthinkable. So it goes beyond the language, of the five. Language is made out of five senses. The experience, that world. So which goes beyond that. If someone is talking, that means they are not in the direction of experiencing it. Where there is no ear. Where there is no eye, samadhi, okay. So where there is ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind, there are these mental phenomena. What is the next one? Sorry? Channavarga. Okay, 185 in English one. 185 in English one, Sinhalika. 196. 196, the Sinhalese one. At Savatthi, then the Venerable Ananda approached the Blessed One, the Channa, right, that one, and said to him, Venerable Sir, it is said the world. In what way, Venerable Sir, is it said the world? Whatever is subject to disintegration, Ananda, is called the world in the Noble One's discipline. And what is subject to disintegration? The I, Ananda, is subject to disintegration. Forms, the eye consciousness, eye contact, whatever feeling arises with eye contact as condition, that too is subject to disintegration. The ear is subject to disintegration. The nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is subject. So when you're reading this, just actually not this fast, you must sort of visualize just how it's disintegrating. Okay? Okay, just noting and visualizing it, so that some mentally you're letting go your own eye, ear, nose, tongue, so that you have to do a little bit. The ear is mind is subject to disintegration. Whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition, that too is subject to disintegration. Whatever is subject to disintegration, Anand is called the world in the Noble One's disciple. If you have time, you must read like this, and just in the walking meditation, you must sort of try to get this idea more. It's so simple. Repeat it, and then kind of put it to yourself and to your each part of your organs, and just that try to make it more. Just keep on thinking about it. That's what you should be doing. But if you have no time, then one day later, if you are doing the second retreat, or you're spending on your self retreat or at home, then you can try that. Just one of that will be enough for you if you really a little bit. But don't stick to that also. It's like a key that opens a little bit. Alright, so make sure you always keep reading the other suttas also in your normal future on this path, when you're wanting to go on this mind ship. Okay. Then the Venerable Ananda approached the Blessed One and said to him, Venerable Sir, it is said, empty is the world, empty is the world. In what way, Venerable Sir, it is said, empty is the world? It is empty, it is Ananda because it is empty of self and of what belongs to self, that it is said empty of the world. And what is empty of self and of what belongs to self? The I Ananda is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Forms are empty of self and of what belongs to self. I consciousness is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Eye contact is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Whatever feeling arises with mind contact now is it's made short form, okay? But you must try to repeat to all the sense organs. So whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition, whether pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that too is empty of self and of what belongs to self. It is Ananda because it is empty of self and of what belongs to self, that it is said empty is the world. So really you must go like into, you imagine you are having a feeling, okay? You must go into your feeling. Imagination is very important here. But you're imagining, normally when we say imagination, it means something not real, okay? Now we are imagining reality, okay? So this imaging or imagining, this is very important for that's related with Yoniso Manasikara, that what leads to attaining Nibbana actually. So that's very important. You have to sort of go into this and just allow this, because this is talking about the actual truth of that experience. So we are not in that realization of it. So when you keep on sometimes for some time, and it can trigger a completely another awareness, which is the true nature of that. Okay, actual true nature, and it's like a revelation you get about an experience you have been always experiencing. That is not you. There's no person there. Okay, for that only you have to stay alone and do little walking meditation and be alone. More you stay alone is and sit down for samadhi. And like that, mix, read, and then sit down, like that.
Now 9 and 10. एक एपिसोड.
एक ही मत.
9 and 10. Nephi to Godak में हाथ. दो ये सूत्र.
9 and 10. इधर दिखा सूत्र क्यों नहीं दिखा पास?
नहीं ऐसा.
एक पास से.
एक पास से जाना.
पुण्य के लिए ना एक पास से.
පාස්ස බාහ්‍ය සූත්‍ර ඡා සූත්‍ර
එකත් පස්සේ.
number 9
හරි හරි. Very nice sutta we are coming to. 193 පිටුව කීයද? 206. Yesterday we read that, no? But I mistakenly okay, but good one. This one very special one. We are telling you like we are coming to the Buddha or Arya Sangha, their type of thinking we need to also develop, okay? The way the Buddha discourse very special here. It is actually the 194. In that page in the English one, the dyad, the second one. Dve Sutra is the second Dve Sutra, okay? Dutiya. I'm happy, very interested people. Very good. At young age itself, like myself that time, many years back. 194. Bhikkhus consciousness come to be in dependence on a dyad. And how bhikkhus does consciousness come to be independent on a dyad? Independent on I and forms. Now when you are reading like that, you have to have a mental picture like I is there and the form is there. Like when you're drawing in a blackboard or like that, you have to have in the mental picture these two are there, and then this independent on these two how this consciousness arise. Like that you have to create a mental picture for your thinking. And how bhikkhu does consciousness come to be independent on a dyad? Independent on the I and forms, there arises I consciousness. The I is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Forms are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Thus this dyad is moving and tottering, impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The 194. I consciousness is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Now this is very important. Look how the change of shift of contemplating. I consciousness is impermanent. Buddha is stating that changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for rising of I consciousness is also impermanent. He already explains that. Okay, what is the cause of I consciousness? What the Buddha says, remember what he said before. I and form. That's right, yeah. So it shows, first he says, he establishes your awareness that the I is changing, the forms are changing. Alright? Then he says, directly, immediately, I consciousness is changing. And then the cause of I consciousness is also changing. Now he has already said that, so it's a very, I consciousness is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the rising of I consciousness is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. When bhikkhus I consciousness has arisen independent on a condition that is impermanent, how could it be permanent? So this is very important to know, this conditionality, that something that has arisen from an impermanent cause has to be impermanent. Okay? This is actually the realization of impermanence. It's not something very like you see immediately, like even the scientists, they notice fluxes and all that, but they don't become monks, they don't get desirelessness. This is a kind of a deep wisdom that you awaken from within, that this faculty is there within us, that it's about, it's a kind of a awareness of the universal, impermanence of everything with this, the entire range of your conscious experiences, so that this is the nature of this. So to get that, this way of contemplation, so it's not just immediately, of course, that is also helpful to see that now when I look like this, what I saw here, that's finished, and so on, like that. But even before we told about, in the past it happened like that, and then the future also it has to be like that, and what to say of the present. So these are all also, this is all kind of triggering you to contemplate, all right, about the nature of phenomena, and then that way you begin to actually become, I told you like Newton, when the apple fell down, suddenly, that kind of, to trigger that kind of realization. So that's why you read a bit, think about it, and then do the walking meditation, or just go contemplating about it. Not particularly trying to understand also. So, but you must associate this thinking and get used to it slowly. And when you're reading so much, automatically you will be. I consciousness is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the arising of I consciousness is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. When bhikkhus I consciousness has arisen, independent on a condition that is impermanent, how could it be permanent? The meeting, the encounter, the concurrence of these three things is called eye contact. Eye contact too is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the arising of eye contact is also impermanent. So you see like a chain reaction, the previous causes are definitely impermanent. Therefore, what you are going to experience, eye contact is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Because eye contact has arisen independent on condition that is impermanent, how could it be permanent? Contacted because one feels, contacted one intends, contacted one perceives. Thus these things too are moving and tottering, impermanent and changing, becoming otherwise. So it's not in this moment you see the change of those experiences. Okay, so it is by inference, I would say, like that way. Okay, that's very important to get used to. That's kind of, from that kind of contemplation you get a deeper wisdom. Okay, so actually we have in the meditation, in very popular in the modern day, it's a technique based mostly. Okay, they are very helpful, no doubt, but they have taken from something from Satipatthana or somewhere and made it better, like useful for many people, like that. But my personal idea is that I have some doubts whether that wisdom is enough. Okay, this is my personal idea. I have not even done any of those programs or retreats, so it's not right for me to kind of. So it's my general idea, but I am very sure of this Dhamma from here contemplated. So this it's very, very, we have this confidence with this. So these are the old method also, Pariyapti, Pratipatti, Prativeda. Pariyapti is the study, Pratipatti is the practice. Now study doesn't mean passing exams and all that. Like this, applying, using the text, using the teachings to apply as a meditation object. And then when you're doing that Prativeda experience, you realize it. So this is the old way. Independent on the ear and sound, there arises ear consciousness. Independent on the nose, tongue, body, mind, and mental phenomena, there arises mind consciousness. The mind is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Mental phenomena are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Thus this dyad is moving and tottering, impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Mind consciousness is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the rising of mind consciousness is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. When because mind consciousness has arisen independent on condition that is impermanent, how could it be permanent? The meeting, the encounter, the concurrence of these three things is called mind contact. Mind contact too is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the rising of mind contact is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. So this is not this in this line, this thinking can trigger a certain experience. Okay, this each sutta is like that. It doesn't mean you have to. We don't know from but very, very much clear that the cause and effect, when you begin to think about that way, the possibility is there to get that impermanent awareness or knowledge or realization. So you must just do what the Buddha is telling. You must just listen to him. That's all, and apply. Contacted bhikkhus one feels, contacted one intends, contacted one perceives. Thus these things too are moving and tottering, impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. It is in such a way bhikkhus that consciousness come to be independent on a dyad. What is the next one?
Maluke Buddha. Jalavarga, number 2.
Just before that, 204, not yours again only. Not yours, Getonarami.
Malankiput is 197.
No, 197. Okay, before that, right? Okay. Yeah, right. Um, 197. Single ekada adula. Me page එක this year? Oh. 211. Then the Venerable Malankiputta approached the Blessed One and said to him, Venerable Sir, would be good if the Blessed One would teach me the Dhamma in brief, so that having heard the Dhamma from the Blessed One, I might dwell alone, withdrawn, diligent, ardent and resolute. Here now, Malankiputta, what should I say to the young bhikkhus when a bhikkhu like you, old-aged, burdened with years, advanced in life, come to the last stage, ask me for exhortation in brief? Exhortation. My English is, how do you pronounce this? Correct? Please correct me, otherwise don't say yes to everything. I can learn some English after a long time. Although, Venerable Sir, I am old, aged, burdened with years, advanced in life, come to the last stage, let the Blessed One teach me the Dhamma in brief. Let the Fortunate One teach me the Dhamma in brief. Perhaps I may understand the meaning of the Blessed One's statement. Perhaps I may become an heir to the Blessed One's statement. What do you think, Malankiputta? Do you have any desire, lust or affection for those forms cognizable by the eye that you have not seen and never saw before, that you do not see and would not think might be seen? No, Venerable Sir. Do you have any desire, lust or affection for those sounds cognizable by the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, mental phenomena cognizable by the mind that you have not cognized and never cognized before, that you do not cognize and would not think might be cognized? No, Venerable Sir. Here, Malankiputta, regarding things seen, heard, sensed and cognized by you, in the seen there will be merely the seen, in the heard there will be merely the heard, in the sense there will be merely the sense, in the cognized there will be merely the cognized. When, Malankiputta, regarding things seen, heard, sensed and cognized by you, in the seen there will be merely the seen, in the heard there will be merely the heard, in the sense there will be merely the sense, in the cognized there will be merely the cognized, then, Malankiputta, you will not be by that. When, Malankiputta, you are not by that, then you will not be therein. When, Malankiputta, you are not therein, then you will be neither here nor beyond, nor between the two, in between the two. This self is the end of suffering. I understand in detail, Venerable Sir, the meaning of what was stated by the Blessed One in brief. Having seen a form with mindfulness muddled, attending to the pleasing sign, one experiences it with infatuated mind and remains tightly holding to it. Many feelings flourish within, originating from the visible form, covetousness and annoyance as well, by which one's mind becomes disturbed. For one who accumulates suffering, thus Nibbana is said to be far away, having heard a sound with mindfulness muddled. So in all these cases, unmindful, without wisdom, when you are experiencing something. So next one, next page. When firmly mindful, one sees a form. One is not inflamed by lust for forms. One experiences it with dispassionate mind and does not remain holding it tightly. One fares mindfully in such a way that even as one sees the form and while one undergoes a feeling, suffering is exhausted, not built up. For one dismantling suffering thus, Nibbana is said to be close by. Okay. Okay, 202 page. 216 in the single is one. 202 in the English one. Bhikkhus, I will teach you about one who dwells negligently and about one who dwells diligently. Listen to that. And how, bhikkhus, does one dwell negligently? If one dwells without restraint over the eye faculty, the mind is soiled among forms cognizable by the eye. If the mind is soiled, there is no gladness. When there is no gladness, there is no rapture. When there is no rapture, there is no tranquility. When there is no tranquility, one dwells in suffering. The mind of one who suffers does not become concentrated. When the mind is not concentrated, phenomena do not become manifest. Because phenomena do not become manifest, one is reckoned as one who dwells negligently. If one dwells without restraint over the ear faculty, the mind is soiled among sounds cognizable by the ear. So they apply to all of it. That's very important. One, two, I have an idea why sila is important. Okay? And if you enjoy your feeling how you are going to, you're going to have no gladness. In the programs I talk about, and happiness without a reason, and sadness without a reason, just to give these points. Okay? So that most of us have sadness without a reason, and you must change it to happiness without a reason. Okay? You might look mad, but laughing for no reason. But anyway, this is the real happiness. It is in such a way, bhikkhu, that one dwells negligently. And how, bhikkhus, does one dwell diligently? If one dwells with a restraint over the eye faculty, the mind is not soiled among forms cognizable by the eye. If the mind is not soiled, gladness is born. When one is gladdened, rapture is born. When the mind is uplifted by rapture, the body becomes tranquil. One tranquil in body experiences happiness. The mind of one who is happy becomes concentrated. When the mind is concentrated, phenomena becomes manifest. Because phenomena becomes manifest, one is reckoned as one who dwells diligently. So it's applied to all others, okay? Because I want to go to this fast. Ita passe ne ara mama neme kirigane.
Number 8, sir.
Okay. So in page number 204,
219, sir.
219, the single is 1, and the English one 204. Not yours. Because whatever is not yours, abandon it. When you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. And what is it? Because that is not yours. The eye is not yours. Abandon it. When you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. Apply it now. When you're reading that, just now do look at your own eye. Okay, from your mind, of course. Eye is not yours. Abandon it. When you have abandoned it, so that you can practice it at your dentist, at your medical checkup. No nervousness. And when you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. Forms are not yours. Eye consciousness is not yours. Eye contact is not yours. Whatever feeling arises with eye contact as condition, whether pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that too is not yours. Abandon it. When you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. The ear is not yours. The nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is not yours. Whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition, that too is not yours. And when you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. Suppose, bhikkhus, people were to carry off the grass, sticks, branches and foliage in this Jeta grove, or to burn them, or to do with them as they wish. Would you think people are carrying us off, or burning us, or doing... Sorry, I feel very funny when I read these, okay? Because nowadays it's different, okay? But here it's a very rare thing, it's a very difficult thing. I'm very glad that Bhante has made this place. Okay, really, because this year is really it's a platform and it's necessary a place, otherwise this will not progress. There won't be a place where there can be Sangha and then start to generate. But sometimes the attachment we have created in the modern times, I feel funny when I read this, because of course if they carry the things in the in the property, there will be in the modern time they would not stay like it's not mine, right? I'm reading this in my own monastery also, but hopefully this only I'm telling conventionally my monastery. I put it to this trust, and hopefully I don't have that this thing. They'll have to be involved in those things. People are coming to cut the trees and all this from, but I think no, it's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it. We must think the bigger picture, of really we are going to leave all the sankhara. This should be really a living thing to you. You must not see very long you are living. Your mind should see very fast you are leaving this planet or this whole body going to. I think this is very important. So that you're really working for. Now even my father, I see, is 82, and then he he had plans, like he accumulated some money and he thought that this is all plans in the idea, but nature took over so fast, so the time went. So this I saw when I was 18 in my meditation. So it's like very fast in a kind of a thing, and I also saw my parents in that, like everything disappearing. And that was a Samvega working, and still in my this thing. Now all these are like duty. This also like I feel very happy that like I have now like given like this and created some platform and also revealed what Bhante, the way how it's practiced. So who are really interested, that I have nothing kept which I knew. So that part is this thing, but it's not very long. We feel like tomorrow, day after, very long too. Some people tell me, when they feel inspired, Bhante, I will join you. I'm going to be like you. I'm going to join you after 10 years. Why do they say like that? Now, later I got to know. For them, 10 years seems very long time. Very long time. So they think that, they can relax until then, So this is how they are thinking. That's the reason. So they really don't want to do this. So they just want to hang on to this. But finally reality will come and it will be quite too late. Luckily my father, I gave him some things, but still he could have done more. But he was involved with the worldly life. They are like normally a lot. But who just I'm giving an idea. You all have already have the chances to get this opportunity to do, sort of think and do like this at least 5 days. So make use of it. See far away, and even if you live very long, it will be very short. Okay? Suppose because people were to carry off the grass, sticks, branches and foliage in the Jeta grove, or to burn them, or to do with them as they wish, would you think people are carrying us off, or burning us, or doing with us as they wish? No, Venerable Sir. For what reason? Because, Venerable Sir, that is neither ourself nor what belongs to ourself. So too, bhikkhus, so slowly you must go into your body and consciousness even when you're reading these things. Okay? And then remind yourself this is not your property. Okay? They seem simple, but you will establish your consciousness, your thing. You have to guide it and really remind. So this will be helpful. Okay? That's how you... Whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition, that too is not yours. Abandon it. When you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. Okay. Into the I am superior. Any other one?
Upadaya Sutra, pages like after that was.
Okay, 207. Because when what exists by clinging to what, do pleasure and pain arise internally. On this very part, internally. Venerable Sir, our teachings are rooted in the Blessed One. When there is I, bhikkhus, by clinging to I, what is the Sinhalese page? 2222. Dekai. Venerable Sir, our teachings are rooted in the Blessed One. Okay, where there is the I, bhikkhus, by clinging to the I, pleasure and pain arises internally. When there is ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind, by clinging to mind, pleasure and pain arise internally. What do you think, bhikkhus? Is the I permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent suffering or happiness? Suffering, Venerable Sir. But without clinging to what is impermanent, suffering and subjected to change, could pleasure and pain arise internally? No, Venerable Sir. Is the ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind permanent or impermanent? But without clinging to what is impermanent, suffering and subject to change, could pleasure and pain arise internally? No, Venerable Sir. Seeing thus bhikkhus, the instructed noble disciple experienced revulsion toward the eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind. Experiencing revulsion, he becomes dispassionate. Through dispassion, the mind is liberated. When he is liberated, there comes the knowledge, is liberated. He understands. Destroyed his birth, the holy life had been lived, what had been done. This is the Arahant, when they have really fully got the experience of this how, they verbalize it. Okay?
Number 5. Say yes.
Ilangada nathna.
Ilagam.
Okay, because the next one, I am superior. That is 208, the same page. Because when what exists by clinging to what, by adhering to what, does the thought occur, I am superior, or I am equal, or I am inferior. Whenever our teachings are rooted in the Blessed One. When there is the I, because by clinging to the I, by adhering to I, the thought occurs, I am superior, or I am equal, or I am inferior. When there is the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, by clinging to the mind, by adhering to the mind, the thought occurs, I am superior, or I am equal, or I am inferior. What do you think, bhikkhus? Is the eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir. But without clinging to what is impermanent, suffering, and subject to change, could the thought occur, I am superior, or I am equal, or I am inferior? No, Venerable Sir. The next one also is, they are all good. Because I will teach you the things that fetter and the fetter. Listen to that. And what bhikkhus are the things that fetter, and what is the fetter? The I bhikkhus is a thing that fetters. The desire and lust for it is fetter there. That's very important, just to get an idea. The I tell sometimes, like the ear does not get angry. The tongue does not taste. Do you get it? The tongue is just flesh thing. In the consciousness, the feeling that you get, they are only this, the anger that comes as a form of reaction, the way you perceive it. So this is all happening in your consciousness. Like a dead body, it looks so peaceful, right? If you look at the dead body, all dead bodies looks enlightened beings. Right? And so we should become dead before we die. That's what should happen. Okay. And what bhikkhus are the things that fetter, and what is the fetter? The I bhikkhus is a thing that fetters. The desire and lust for it is the fetter there. The ear is a thing, that's why we develop mindfulness, wisdom, and then we can remove this desiring nature. The I will be there, you will see things, and you have a choice whether to be mindful and change yourself now. Do you get this point? Even I am, striving this way. I see some things, still certain things are coming, but then you have a choice now to really finish it off. Okay? Some not too much long time for me. So, this is a time to do it more. So this I hope, you get it. You have a choice to be mindful, to contemplate, and to let go any desiring thing. And then that will also, when you do that, it will make you how you become upset also, you can control. It will not come. This is the next one also. Bhikkhu, I will teach you the things that can be clung to, and the clinging, listen to that. And what bhikkhus are the things that can be clung to, and what is the clinging? The I bhikkhus is a thing that can be clung to. The desire and lust for it is the clinging there. The ear is a thing that can be clung to. The nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is a thing that can be clung to. The desire and lust for it is the clinging there. These are called the things that can be clung to, and this the clinging. Okay. 210. Next one, no? මාර කියලා එනවනේ. ඒකත් දාන්න ඉන්නේ. හරි. 228. මනිට පොතක් නැද්ද? You don't have books? Three of you listening. Very good. Do you? It's boring or what? Okay. I don't think we have extra books. Maybe I think some books have disappeared also or something. Because am I right? Did some books disappear? Doesn't matter. Now we read this. You can listen. I'm reading, right? Because somebody told me, like Buddha's time, why I stress to read. Why not to listen, even through a recording? Because in this modern time, we have learned to get knowledge through reading. Okay? So in the olden time, yes, we heard from the Buddha and so on. But now our faculty, reading is more stronger than the hearing part, where we are gathering knowledge and so on. So we must use that faculty. And because here, that time, Buddha's time, the hearing was this thing. But today, mostly we have become more full of desire and more this thing. So eyes are working more stronger. Because there are forms cognizable by the eye that are desirable, lovely, but not through the phone. You must try to reduce this phone activity, but only maybe for your work purpose. That's opening up the Kamaloka so much. So if you have to live in the Kamaloka, we all have to live in the sensual world. So that's really a must. I don't see, real old teachers and all that. This is quite a thing that opens up. It's a device, that device to the sensual world so much. So it's easy for sensual activities, that's very convenient, all that. So anyway, we have to use it really for our purpose of conducting things that we have to do. But like GPS and all that, you can't you can't drive even without it. But other things you really have to, which will, even entertainment, everything, you are going to delay your experience. You can keep on. My teacher gives a nice story those days about sensual things. Like there was a fire, in a cellar. There has been like a cellar, or what you call a cellar is where you keep all the beer and all these things, right? Underground, right? Under, normally. So like this building was on fire. So people went to bring the beer cases and, wine and everything. So when they came, some thought, oh, this is a good chance. Nobody's looking, so I will have. When you laugh, I am doubting whether you also did that. So now you have to control your laugh, right? Otherwise, anyway, I'm sorry. No police, no problem. So what happened? Now everybody's going to laugh. What to do? All have been doing that. Huh? So you go. They were going to the cellar, and then one of them, they were drinking, and he lost his idea. This was burning and everything. He kept on drinking, and all others, like whoever came out, they went, and this all collapsed, and he burnt with that. So my teacher used to give it as an example of these sensual things. If you get intoxicated and go on like that, then you will not know the reality of what's going to come to you in life, and then you'll be, drawn by that. I don't know how I remember this after a long time. First time I'm telling in a program, it just came to my mind. He had this small ways of explaining, I don't know, I'm sure he's not here because definitely, the way he practiced was very, very different. It was very, but we don't know samsara, how things happen. If a Buddha was alive, he will tell the exact of things. 210. Because there are forms cognizable by the eye and are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu seeks delight in them, welcomes them, and remains holding to them, he is called a bhikkhu who has entered Mara's lair, who has come under Mara's control. Mara's snare has been fastened to him so that he is bound by the bondage of Mara, and the evil one can do with him as he wishes. There are bhikkhus sounds cognizable by the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, mental phenomena cognizable by the mind that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu seeks delight in them, the evil one can do with him as he wishes. There are bhikkhus forms cognizable by the eye that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensual, enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu does not seek delight in them, does not welcome them, and does not remain holding to them, he is called a bhikkhu who has not entered Mara's lair, who has not come under Mara's control. Mara's snare has been unfastened from him, so that he is not bound by the bondage of Mara, and the evil one cannot do with him as he wishes. There are bhikkhus sounds. Okay, the same thing, right? Please. Second one also good? No, no.
Number 5. Sakka.
Okay. Okay. 215. 215 in the English one.
234.
234 in the Sinhalese one. This is very important. With I think this one relate to my teacher's explanation of the last breath, how the Arahant keep his attention to the last breath. This conditioned nature of consciousness and depends on clinging as well as karma. When they are absent, then the Arahant could keep full attention. Not just then the conditions for consciousness won't be there. Anyway, blessed. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Rajagaha on mountain Vulture's Peak. Then Sakka, the Lord of the Devas, approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, stood to one side, and said to him, Venerable Sir, what is the cause and reason why some beings here do not attain Nibbana in this very life? And what is the cause and reason why some beings here attain Nibbana in this very life? There are Lord of the Devas, forms cognizable by the eye, that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu seeks delight in them, welcomes them, and remains holding to them, his consciousness becomes dependent upon them and clings to them. A bhikkhu with clinging does not attain Nibbana. There are Lord of the Devas, sounds cognizable by the ear, mental phenomena cognizable by the mind, that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu seeks delight in them, welcomes them, and remains holding to them, his consciousness becomes dependent upon them and clings to them. A bhikkhu with clinging does not attain Nibbana. This is the cause and reason, Lord of the Devas, why some beings here do not attain Nibbana in this very life. There are Lord of the Devas, forms cognizable by the eye, mental phenomena cognizable by the mind, that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu does not seek delight in them, does not welcome them, and does not remain holding to them, his consciousness does not become dependent upon them or cling to them. A bhikkhu without clinging attains Nibbana. This is the cause and reason, Lord of the Devas, why some beings here attain Nibbana in this very life.
ඒකේ 10 වෙනි එක තමයි. උපාදාන ඊට කලින් එකක් තියෙනවා. සංයෝජන number 1.
Now we will say. The problem is this one in English one, they are very short. Things that fetter. Okay, it doesn't matter. We'll have to skip that.
උපාදාන සූත්‍රය number 10.
නෑ ඒකටත් පස්සේ මොකද දැන් ඒ වගේ මේකේ නෑ ඉංග්‍රීසි වල.
පලාස සූත්‍රය.
පලාස සූත්‍රයනේ. ඒක මේ
දේවදහ වර්ගයේ 255. සිංහල 255.
ගොඩක් ඈතින් තියෙන්නේ ඒක.
එහෙමයි සයිනස්. දේවදහ වගේ 14
හරි. 229 දේවදායකද?
පලාස සූත්‍රය. number 5.
Okay. 233
255.
ඒක අර මේ ජේතවනාරාම ගැනම නේද එන්නේ? ජේතන ජේතවනාරාමයේ අර බඩු උස්සගෙන යනකොට ඒකම නේද එන්නේ? හරිනේ.
එහෙමයි.
හරි. 233. Because whatever is not yours, abandon it. When you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. And what is it because that is not yours? The eye is not yours, abandon it. When you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. The ear is not yours, the tongue, the body, the mind is not yours. Abandon it. When you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. Suppose because people were to carry off the grass, sticks, branches and foliage in the Jeta grove, or to burn them, or to do with them as they wish, would you think people are carrying us off, or burning us, or doing with us as they wish? No, Venerable Sir. For what reason? Because, Venerable Sir, that is neither our self nor what belongs to ourself. So too, Bhikkhu, the eye is not yours. Ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is not yours. When you have read this before. So when in this practice, when you're reading, it's like you have never read before. You'll be reading again. So it's like that's very important. Okay. So it's like if you're taking it as an information, it's very boring because you have read it before, you know it. All right. But now if you're taking it as an exercise, that you are looking at yourself again and trying to see these parts are not yours, that's a different thing. Okay, that's what you are supposed to do. So it's very different, like if someone will also, this is like very, just like book reading, someone will feel it. But it's not like that. It's stimulating you to go within and to have an experience. So you're getting familiar to have mindfulness and contemplation using this. This is for that purpose. This is also very important. ඊළඟ තියෙනනේ. එතනම තියෙන්නේ. Single එක 255 and the English one 230, same page, impermanent with a cause. Because the eye is impermanent, the cause and condition for the rising of the eye is also impermanent. As the eye has originated from what is impermanent, how could it be permanent? The ear is impermanent, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is impermanent. The cause and condition for the rising of the mind is also impermanent. As the mind has arisen from what is impermanent, how could it be permanent? Now here, because the eye is impermanent. Eye is the part of a body, right? The cause and condition for the rising of the eye, what is it? Have you heard it anywhere? According to Buddha, it is one is karma, one is food. Okay? So that is how you see the food is impermanent. And the karma, Kayam Purana in the walking meditation also, Bante's walking meditation, that part is there, where Kayam Puranam Kammam, Abhisankatang, Abhisanchetang etang, Anityan Nirodha Dhamma. Kaya, the body is past karma, Abhisankatang, what is constructed, Chetang etang, intended. So that intention and construction is impermanent. Therefore, what comes out of it will be impermanent. It has to be impermanent. So if you really want to get an eternal body, what do you have to do? You have to have no karma and no food. Then what happens? You have no body. Then that's only how it's eternal. You cannot have a body and then it can be... The eye is impermanent. The cause and condition for the rising of the eye is also impermanent. As the eye has originated from what is impermanent, how could it be permanent? The ear is impermanent. The nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is impermanent. The cause and condition for the rising of the mind is also impermanent. These have to be visualized, thought about when you are going, one. Seeing thus, Bhikkhu, the instructed noble disciple, experienced revulsion toward the eye, ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind. Experiencing revulsion, he becomes dispassionate. Through dispassion, his mind is liberated. So even this part also, when you are reading, you can just feel like you are realizing it. Okay? And then sort of imagine yourself leaving the body, your own feelings, your own body. Like that, do that exercise. You'll feel light, relaxed. That's kind of contemplation leading to samadhi kind of thing. Wonderful. That's one is suffering with the cause, oneself with the cause. Doesn't continue. Hurry. Yeah, we go 235 Kamma. 258. And in the Sinhalese, this English one, 235. Because I will teach you new and old karma, the cessation of karma and the way leading to the cessation of karma. Listen to that and attend closely. I will speak. And what bhikkhus is old karma? The eye is old karma, to be seen as generated and fashioned by volition, as something to be felt. The ear is old karma. The nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is old karma, to be seen as generated and fashioned by volition, as something to be felt. This is called old karma. And what bhikkhu is new karma? Whatever action one does now by body, speech or mind, this is called new karma. And what bhikkhus is the cessation of karma. When one reaches liberation through the cessation of bodily action, verbal action and mental action, this is called the cessation of karma. For example, say now, the cessation of karma, you are trying to do that to some way. When you are trying to observe sila, and even when you try to attain samadhi through metta or anapanasati, okay, and then when your mind is clear like this, now you are investigating the teachings, contemplating, then suddenly, I told you, like you might get such special clarity. So if that clarity comes, it's really like, you're seeing some reality you have never seen before. Like you're holding a kind of a rope, and if you properly look, you realize it's a snake. Is there a question of letting go? No, you just let go. So that let go effect will happen, and the shock kind of thing, because it's not something you have experienced like. So this is normally in your contemplation. Maybe this retreat very doubtful for me, but if you had some karma from past, it's a possibility there. It can be someday. One day we'll have to. Okay. So but you have now, you know the way actually, the way for my understanding, this is the way it can happen. So if it happens, what happens? You let go, you are dispassionate. That's where when one reaches liberation, so that the mind stops, the body, word, they stop. That means intentions, you will not have any intention. For intentions to happen, you must have greed, hate and delusion. So if the mind is free from greed, hate and delusion, especially delusion, which is then no hate, no greed, then that is Nibbana. And what bhikkhu is the way. So you must see when you read in this, how your practice is actually leading to that. Alright? And what bhikkhu is the way leading to the cessation of karma. It is the Noble Eightfold Path. So it is Noble Eightfold Path has sila, virtue, and samadhi and panya. Alright? So the panya part is your reading, this part. This reading is the panya part. That is practice. Okay? Samadhi, of course, I have told you when you get up, try to, practice this, to remind yourself to just observe the simple things. Again and again, just the flow. Okay, don't recognize anybody. Maybe you recognize who is cooking here also already. Okay, but I hope, that much you must try to be like alone. Then it's helpful with the Indriya Sangvara, the sense restraint practice, and the mindfulness of paying attention to the body and the present moment again and again, in toilet, when you're walking. And so it will not come naturally, you have to remind yourself. Your mind will go to the old habit again and again. That will improve anytime you're sitting for meditation. So and thus, because I have taught old karma, I have taught new karma, I have taught the cessation of karma, I have taught the way leading to the cessation of karma. Whatever should be done, because by a compassionate teacher out of compassion for his disciples, desiring their welfare, that I have done for you. These are the feet of trees, because these are empty huts. Meditate, because do not be negligent, lest you regret it later. These are instruction to you. ඊට පස්සේ ගොඩක් එහාද? කොච්චර එහාද? Sorry? Okay, 250. 278. No, it's in the Sinhalese one. Okay, 278. English one is 250. I think she must be having all the reference. Do you?
No.
You now only find.
I read this one.
Okay. Because the uninstructed wording speaks of the ocean, but that is not the ocean in the noble one's discipline. That is only a great mass of water, a great expanse of water. The I bhikkhu see the ocean for a person. Its current consists of forms. One who withstands that current, consisting of forms, is said to have crossed the ocean of the I with the waves, whirlpools, sharks and demons, crossed over, gone beyond. The Brahmin stands on high ground. The ear bhikkhu see the ocean for the person. The mind is the ocean for a person. Its current consists of mental phenomena. One who withstands that current consisting of mental phenomena is said to have crossed the ocean of the mind with its waves, whirlpools, sharks and demons. Crossed over, gone beyond. The Brahmin stands on high ground. This is what the Blessed One said. Having said this, the Fortunate One, the teacher, further said this: one who has crossed the ocean so hard to cross, with its danger of sharks, demons, waves, the knowledge master who has lived the holy life, reached the world's end, is called one gone beyond.
ඒකේ පස්සේ නේ කොට්ටිත සූත්‍රය.
Okay, I think this is a good one. I think anthima kane. Okay. 254. 282, the Sinhalese one. This is a very good one. This is a very nice sutta. I think it's the end of it. ඉවරද ඒක? ඊට පස්සේ නෑනේ. ඈතම එකක්. Kottika Sutta, 254, English one. On one occasion, the Venerable Sariputta and the Venerable Mahakotita were dwelling at Varanasi, in Deer Park in Isipatana. Then in the evening, the Venerable Mahakotita emerged from seclusion and approached the Venerable Sariputta. He exchanged greetings with the Venerable Sariputta. And when they had concluded their greetings and cordial talk, he sat down to one side and said to him, I think I'm very fast, right? My accent is also very fast to the American accent. Do you follow? But you can manage it. All right. How is it, friends Sariputta? Okay. Greetings and cordial talk. He sat down to one side and said to him, how is it, friend Sariputta? Is the I the fetter of forms, or are forms the fetter of the eye? Is the ear the fetter of sounds, or are the sounds the fetter of the ear? Is the mind the fetter of mental phenomena? It's all for 6 sense organs, right? Or are mental phenomena the fetter of the mind? So this is very important. Just friend Koti, the eye is not the fetter of forms, nor are forms the fetter of the eye, but rather the desire and lust that arise there in dependence on both. That is the fetter there. The ear is not the fetter of sounds, nor are sounds the fetter of the ear, but rather the desire and lust that arise there independent on both. That is the fetter there. The mind is not the fetter of the mental phenomena, nor mental phenomena is the fetter of the mind, but rather desire and lust that arise there independent on both. That is the fetter there. Suppose, friends, a black ox and a white ox were yoked together by a single harness or yoke. Would one be speaking rightly if one were to say, the black ox is the fetter of the white ox is the fetter of the black ox? No, friend, the black ox is not the fetter of the white ox, nor is the white ox the fetter of the black ox, but rather the single harness or yoke by which the two are yoked together. That is the fetter there. So too, friends, the eye is not the fetter of forms, nor are mental phenomena the fetter of the mind, but rather the desire and lust that arise there independent on both. That is the fetter there. If, friends, the eye were the fetter of forms, or if forms were the fetter of the eye, this living of the holy life could not be discerned for the complete destruction of suffering. But since the eye is not the fetter of forms, nor are forms the fetter of the eye, but rather desire and lusts that arise There in dependence on both is the fetter there, the living of the holy life is discerned for the complete destruction of suffering. Okay, we go to the next page, and then in that, the second paragraph, the same sutta. In this way, too, friends, it may be understood how that is so. There exists in the Blessed One the eye. The Blessed One sees a form with the eye. Yet there is no desire and lust in the Blessed One. The Blessed One is well liberated in mind. There exists in the Blessed One the ear. The Blessed One hears a sound with the ear. There exists in the Blessed One the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind. The Blessed One cognizes mental phenomena with the mind. Yet there is no desire and lust in the Blessed One. The Blessed One is well liberated in mind. In this way, friends, it can be understood how the eye is not the fetter of forms, nor forms the fetter of the eye, but rather desire and lust that arise therein. Dependence on both is the fetter there. They want the parachute jump sutta, which I have, it is the last one. I call it the parachute jump in the commandos, I think in previous life I would have been in the army. So it's like the commandos, they have training, the parachute, this thing with a mission. Mission and training goes together. So this is the last instruction given to be my teacher of the suttas. So it's actually called the time has come. Time has come to jump. So that's a very important title. Under that he had some few suttas. So that is it, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay, I will read that. Now you have it in this book. Don't go to that. Okay, it won't be a surprise then. All right. Now saying that, you will definitely, I think, no, do this. Don't go be in a hurry. All right. There's a purpose for all this. I felt how the Bhante, had these suttas, all this practice, and it's leading to something we have to pass. We have to master. It's very, very helpful. It's a comprehensive this thing for insight as well. So last time I'll have some questions, and maybe it will be time for me to go for a walk if it gets too dark. And on my way to, maybe I might meet Venerable also. I don't know. Do you have time? No.
Tomorrow or the next day?
Tomorrow? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Tomorrow evening I have a program. So morning I'll come for like maybe I'll come, You don't need me to be here. Maybe 1 hour or something like that I might just drop by. Okay. And day after tomorrow, day after tomorrow program is it? Sorry, Apindapata.
We have Pindapata here at 11.
Okay, and program in the evening. So we'll see. Day after tomorrow I'll come. Yes.
I have a question when you're finished.
Okay. Anybody? Anyone? I'm finished. Okay.
My question is on the word revulsion.
Revulsion. Yeah.
What is the Pali word, and are there alternate translations for that?
Revulsion.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2-3 words like you have when you get an actual experience of the Dhamma. That means you see things as they are. That's the final wisdom you can get. There is something called nibbindati, virachyati, very important. Virachyati also is like a shade of desirelessness, or revulsion. So nibbindati is the nibbindati, virachyati, nirodheti. So it brings cessation. So they're just, they happen like at the same time. Okay? Nirodheti, nibbhananti, that's nibbhana there. Yeah. You have simple question today, good. I was very frightened, I think they're all very earnest, but I think your teacher is very little bit, not like me, I guess. Anyway, good. You are very fortunate. Last time it was a small place, but the crowd was, even the few I met, I felt really, real human beings. In midst of Manhattan, you can find the golden people there. I was telling him also, really, it's possible. The Hare Krishna movement, they have started all that, you can find great souls, I believe. I have a feeling this way. So people might think in the most, sort of disturbed or place, there can be those souls. Can just some impulse, they would definitely take it. So it's just more stronger than where someone is conditioned from young age and so on. They have a special this thing too. Only thing, they would not have that strength. The faith is there, just hang on, not that kind of grit and this thing. That can be awakened, someone coming from entirely where I don't know. But for that to happen also, there is a history many lives back. It's not just coming like that too, like my teacher. But there's another obstacle where if one is exposed too much to sensual experiences, too much karma has been created, it can come even if you're interested. But if you're really willed to come out of it, definitely, you can become stronger.
One thing, yesterday you said when you meditate, break it down to empty. You think, when do you know you have come to the emptiness? What makes you think? Because you can go to atomic, electronic, proton, neutron. So there's something.
Like. Think of any emptiness. Emptiness is also a kind of relative. It has so really in the Dhamma, the real emptiness is an emptiness from an idea of I. Okay, that comes from wisdom. Even when you don't have an idea of I, is the real emptiness. It's not a spatial emptiness. Spatial emptiness, you could say, like from the five senses. The absence of five senses, like samadhi, is a kind of a very, very empty. So the emptiness is reached more and more. That means the construction or sankhara will be less and less. Okay? So like when it's less and less, you feel empty. Like more empty. Like space is more empty than, things like here. Alright? So it can get more, so more desirelessness, you go towards emptiness more. So the final desirelessness, which leads to this, with the knowledge of no self, no people, no person. So Nibbana is the supreme emptiness in that way. So I know electrons, protons, this is in the material planes, so that's a very, very final way of sort of this thing. Now when you close your eyes also, it's kind of, you can have an idea, you don't see anything, like a dark, this thing. Okay, I don't know which one I was telling how to think. I think maybe the one where I told to think like it's empty, and from Nibbana you think how you're born and so on, like that part. Like when a body gets...
You said when you do meditation, you look at something and then try to see until, you see nothing. Something like that.
Okay. When you contemplate, just use it to sort of feel light. That's important. Okay. So when you applied what is said here, if you have invisible hands or invisible mind, the mind is so kind of invisibly holding on to. I told some of my, like in the forest, some experience where like robbers were looking after me, and that time I was, touched with a lot of poison leaves, and I was really not well, so they were looking after me, but I wanted to overcome that pain through samadhi, and I was unable. And then I remembered my teacher explained to us about the Anatta Lakkana Sutta. You see how to apply, we have already learned to do that. So I started to recite that and slowly use it for my awareness, looking at my own body and feelings. Soon as I did that simple awareness that this feeling is not the way I want, okay, it is pain. So what is not in my control is not me. When I applied that simple thing, there I suddenly felt the pain was reducing. So the pain is an experience within me, and then I realized I was very, 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 I had a lot of faith in the teaching. In the midst of pain that I was, so I realized that I was wondering what happened to me. for that to happen. So I continued the contemplation and I was not feeling the pain. So the way I reasoned out was that though we have said we have left the home and gone, like we are still invisibly clinging to our body feelings and, like our experiences. So when you consciously develop that awareness, mindfulness, there's some release from those experiences. So the perception of sadness or pain works depending on your clinging the other way to pleasure and so on. So now when you let go that painful perception, or the idea of pain, or that perceiving way doesn't start not to work like that. So that's how I thought, but that happened, that I experienced that. Then after that daily I practiced that, but that led me to more using that to go to samadhi. So that's another extreme. For many years I was using that little part of contemplation. So that is not good. Then you are going to more feelings, of peacefulness. So it's not allowing that more deeper contemplation. So you should be reading. Now only I'm doing it for you all and telling you all, and I'm also doing, which I did as a young boy. So I know that this was going to samadhi, but I was nobody to really. So until 2 years back, this yogi, he told me the importance of this book and told me how it will open up everything in your brain. And he said this is the highest meditation, that if you do this, we will have to look for you. Like that he encouraged me. I told the story, right? First day I told. So many things I told you on the first day. Maybe it's okay. All right. Anybody else? You're also a dangerous person. What do you anyway. Okay. No, I'm joking, right?
One thing, you're talking about consciousness, and I know in the consciousness, the eye consciousness, all this consciousness. In Pali, there are 3 terms for it: mano, chitta, and vijnana.
Chitta comes in the Abhidhamma very much. Okay.
So mano, and one is man, and one is vijnana.
Okay.
So
actually, vijnana is the broader, some aspect of thinking and all that. This is in the sankhara. So normally what they tell us in terms of mano, chitta, the thinking part, mostly connected with the vitakka thinking. So it happens in the sankhara, in the the rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara. So this is actually general, broad, enveloping all this. So other definitions are certain aspects of it. So it normally belongs to perception, chitta. I don't know this. Some people ask me like this. Some who have studied the other way, but keep it simple. Keep it there. That connection of tanha, how it is conscious, related with. Just keep it that way. For the Buddhas, what he tells you to think, we are very sure this is the oldest, recorded the Buddha. This, Buddha has told to people, and they became enlightened by this. So that's another way, but still, by your own personal experience, better you really confirm it.
So another thing which I'm experiencing is that what is helpful is getting out of my mind and just feel it, kind of thing.
Okay.
That's how I then not too much thinking, but as you mentioned, visualize, imagine it, be in that situation, and see the effect of it.
Yeah, you have to do it sometime, then you'll get hold of it something. When you're trying this, how it's done. So not too much, that's why these are it help you what to be mindful of. Okay, so if the body feeling like that, if body feeling perception, you can't watch here. You have to have a mental I was telling last time about an approximate idea, not an exact or anumana. I think you have a so that way you have a mental picture of it. So it's in the mind. Actually, so it is helped. That thinking is helped by samadhi. That's why simultaneously you must learn to empty the mind by samadhi with samadhi. So you must be doing the samadhi, try to get more blissful state of mind, free from the hindrances. So while as a yogi like that, then only you must read this. Then they will make sense. Sense means there is a possibility to have that intuition. Yeah.
So Bhante, I was trying something. So like I can see that food or something, I can see that ice cream was served today. So it's like there was a desire and lust,
Yeah.
So for the time being, I know I cannot detach, but I just, so I thought like, this is good enough, I'm becoming aware of it now. So don't proliferate of it. I know I am enjoying it, but don't go for second helping,
Yeah.
So something like that. So this is the way we should like cultivate this kind of.
Yeah, I couldn't tell the last time. Like another practice is like you can imagine how if you vomit out, that picturing of this thing, and beforehand, like you put it from a hole in your body, like then the tongue is not touching, like you're not. So and I don't know whether I told this retreat, like try not to allow the tongue to touch with the food. You bite with the teeth, like this, like that. You have to start and sit down and really. These are good practices anyway, you can try. Doesn't matter if it doesn't, it's not an easy thing, but trying that will give you a lot of results for yours. Just after your eating, you must go for the meditation. Like try because then that energy you have got from that will give you results in this, because something has to replace that. And when you get that, sort of certain more results in your meditation, that is sitting as well as even you can start contemplating. So just in the afternoon, not the nap. People are very used to the nap, These are not good for the practice, So if you do like that, you get result, then you get more inspiration next time to sort of give it up. Food is a very big thing, and especially in a retreat, you'll feel more attracted. I told about that. Right? Sleep, you feel most inclined for sleep and food. So don't feel guilty, but you must make some effort like this, What you have done is okay, correct? You have to be a warrior, in that. It's like that. That's why yogis are told they're soft like butter, but hard like diamond. Diamond in the sense, in the principles and the practice, soft. The high should become very soft, more softer to the emotions too.
So like one way you like more generalized, like instead of going into specific like sweetness or something more proliferation, just have food, just getting in, taking the nourishment and just moving.
Yeah, like one time I noticed was my first retreat with my teacher when I was like 23. That experience, we had a lot of good food there, Like they bought the daikas which to bring. So it was not, I remember, it was not like I was trying to avoid any food. It was good while eating, getting that faith to not to enjoy it or this thing, like get that really some willpower to put a strictness into that. And then taking it, then the faculties, the inner faculties, they get stronger. So if you don't, it's very easy to give up the food. But why the food is there and then to use some perception and awareness, that is it's a good development. So one must try that, but if really you can't control, then avoid it. Like that you have to find the object, how to avoid it or whether to use it and then not to experience it. So what you have read also, the memory will come. Like if you delight in feelings, perceptions, you delight it in suffering, like what the Buddha is telling. If those words also will remember, like echo in your mind, they will also help you when you're...
Danger, gratification, but then there is a danger.
Because this will nourish, when you are loving that, your latent tendency for craving. So because of that enjoyment, you might end up being a serial killer in the future. Because I'm just telling you, like the sensual nature, you have put one more this thing to kind of, so that won't happen like that. But with the phone, of course, yes, because it's so much stimulating, fast, more stronger this thing, and it can invite even very negative, entities. And if you have some negative karma, that can all get triggered up with that.
The second thing is like this mind, like thoughts, we are like, comes ideas, like, this I can do better, or this is I need to do, So what is your suggestion for restraining them?
There are three things I forgot to tell now. When you're telling me, I'm getting this, like you have distraction for food. Your distraction for food will be more. Okay, and then for sleep will be more. Something called like mental proliferation. You know, you will have this daydreaming thing, and for more thinking will increase in that way. So when you are like this in this setting, so you must be very conscious in that situation. You can do some chanting, keep things much simple, and don't try to force the thing. You must try it out, and so you must check yourself. You know that all those things will leak your energy. So you must, you know, that as a yogi you must.
I have a question related to that food.
Regarding food.
Yeah. So when we practice that, when we do something like this, when food touch the tongue, we see the sensation is rising and then passing.
Okay.
Something like that. If we practice more.
Yes, that can be also. You can see now when it touches, you get tongue consciousness,
Yes.
and in that when that only you recognize as with this chocolate or something, you know, perception. So this way you can see. Otherwise, it's muck. It's just becoming muck actually. If you take away the so mentally you can picture like that, and if you're really not allowing the feeling to, you know, so it's like this. You have the frontal cortex. That is where we are thinking. You know, you're mindful, and this is working. So if you enjoy the feeling, the reptilian brain is working, and sensual desire, you know, the hindrance of that will be working. So your analyzing will be also crippled based on that. So if you can more not allow the touch also, and then sort of contemplate, so not allowing the touch or trying not to make that contact, it will be in the line of sense restraint practice. So it will be a virtue practice. So when it touches doesn't matter, then when you're contemplating like that, and also we have like to see it as there's no self there, then in that Gatha we say, actually Buddha wants to put a very strong rule for this, that is even a rule where you have to disrobe. So it was not practical in the Vinaya it shows. So because that's so serious, you're enjoying this food and all that for the practice. So you really have to control that. So many places, why they are not developing their meditation? Because they are not you know, really practicing well. So you have to try that all the time. Otherwise you can just make like if you put it out how it looks like. But very good, yeah. This I also have been doing sometimes. Like when it touches, you see how the consciousness arises, and then, you know, like when it's like when the touch is no more, the type of food is no touching, then the consciousness also. So.
සූත්‍රයේ දේශනාවල තිබෙන අතීතස බින්දෙනවා අනාගතස බින්දෙනවා කියන. ඒතකොට සායනස අර අතීතස අනාගතස කියලා දකින්නේ මේක රූපය දැකපු ඇහක් තියෙනවා.
ඕනම ඔව්.
ඒ කියන්නේ අර දැන් රූපය දකිනකොටනේ දන්නේ ඇහක් තියෙනවා වගේ තේරෙන්නේ.
හරි.
එහෙමද ගන්න එහෙම නැත්නම් මස් ඇහ කියන්නේ.
ඔව් මස් ඇහ ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක් කරේ ඇහක් ඉස්සර තිබ්බනේ. ඒක නිකන් මතකයක් හැටියට මෙමරි එකක් හැටියට ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකේ මොනවද නැති වුණා නැති වුණා ඒ වගේ. එහෙම ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක නිකන් ඉමේජිනේෂන් එකක්. ඊට පස්සේ අනාගතයේත් එහෙම පහළ වුණොත් මේක වෙනව නේද කියලා එහෙම ගන්න ඕනේ.
ආනාපානසතිය නිවන කරා යනකොට කොහොමද වෙන්නේ මේ කිසිම අකුසල දෙයක් ප්‍රමාණය කරන්නේ නැතුව කොහොමද මේ පුෂ්ප ගැන විතරක්ම කරලා
මට ඒකෙන් මගේ ගමනේ මගේ එකෙන් ඒ පැත්තෙන් දියුණු කරලා නැහැ. මට ප්‍රායෝගිකව කියන්න මගේ ගුරු හාමුදුරන්ගේ උන්වහන්සේ ඒක මට ධෛර්යය දුන්නා කරන්න කියලා. මේ දේශනාවලින් දැන් ඔය කරන එකෙන් නිවන් දකින විදිය ඔන්න ඒක ඔන්න මේකේ පුළුවන්. මේක මාත් ගිය පාරක් මේක. ඉතින් ඒකින්ද මට ඒක අරක මගේ අත්දැකීමක් නෑ ඇත්ත කියන්නෝනේ. අර පොඩ්ඩක් මෛත්‍රී වඩලා ආනාපාන සතිය කරන එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක මෛත්‍රියත් අතාරින්න. හැබැයි ලොකුවට ඒකෙන් නිවන් යන පැත්තක් මගේ නෑ. මම ඒක තේරුම් කරන්න මම කිව්වොත් ඒක පොතෙන් අහපු එකක් ඔය හාමුදුරු කියපු එකක් කියන්න වෙන්නේ. මේක දැන් කියලා තියෙනවා. මේක හරියන්නේ නැද්ද? කමන්නේ මේක try කරන්න මේක මේ මොනවද කියන්නේ මැණික් කමටහන් 1000ක් වගේ. කී දෙනෙක් රහත් වුණාද එක එක විදි වලින්. chances වැඩි. අරක එකක් අරගෙන අපි ඉතින් මේ ඇස නැති වෙලා ඇතිලා නැති වෙන එකද? ඒක දැන් නිකන් හිතන්න පුළුවන් අර කියමුකෝ අපි ඊයේ හම්බුණා නේද මෙතන? ඊයේ මෙතන හම්බුණාද මතකද ඒක? ඇයි? ඊයේ හැන්දෑවේ? හරි කමන්නේ කවදද අර පළවෙනි දවසේ හම්බුණා නේද? එදා හිතන්න එදා තිබ්බ ඇහැ පොඩ්ඩක්වත් වෙනස් වෙලා නැද්ද දැන් වෙනකොට? අන්න ඒක වෙනස් නොවි තිබ්බ ඇහැක් තිබ්බද කවදාකවත්? කවදාකවත් එහෙම ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න ඕනේ. වෙනස් නොවි තිබ්බ ඇහැක් කවදාකවත් තිබ්බද? ඔය වෙනස් වෙන එක වුණාමනේ නේද? ඉස්සර වෙච්ච ඇස්වල. ඉතින් අනාගතේ ඇහැක් පහළ වුණොත් වෙනස් නොවි පවතීද? ඒ සිද්ධ වෙන දේම වෙනව නේද? ඔක හරීම නිකන් වෙනවා කියලා අපි නිකන් වචන වලින් කියන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක හිතට ගන්න ඕනේ හරියට ටිකක්. ඒක තමයි භාවනාවක් වෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ එහෙම වුණා නම් දැන් මේ පහළ වෙන ඇහැ දැන් මේ දකින්න ඇහැ මේ වෙලාවේ තියෙන ඇහැ වෙනසක් වෙන්න නැතුව තියෙයිද? අන්න ඒක ඒ විදිහට ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒක ඇති කරන්න තමයි ඔය තියෙන විදිහට. ඒකරි කලකිරෙන්න අතීතයස් ගැනයි අනාගතේ පැතුම් ගැනයි වර්තමානයේ ආසාව නැති කරන්න තමයි ඒ විදිහට කල්පනා කරලා ප්‍රඥාව අවදි කරන්න තියෙන්නේ.
ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ walking meditation වලදී දැන් මේ කියලා තියෙනවානේ කරන්න ඕන විදිය.
නෑ ඒක විතරයි ඕක සාම්පල් එකක් ගුරු හාමුදුරන්ගේ. මේ කියවන එකක් වුණත් කරන්න පුළුවන් තනියම.
අතීතං පහිනන්තං අනාගතය ඇවිල්ලා නෑ පච්චුප්පඤ්ඤ ධම්මේසු තත්ත විපස්සති. ඒක වර්තමානයේදී සිත යොමු කරන විතරයිද වර්තමානයේදී සිත නොඇලී එහෙම එකක් හිතන්නේ just you keep the
your first step to keep present to bring your mind now you can hear the sounds presently. Can you hear any sound?
Yes.
Sorry, I'll have to there are more with the Sinhalese and they want some entertainment. That's why they all, I'm sure they all know English, but how can they work or do anything here? But just a few minutes, okay? Doesn't matter, I hope. No, they do mind. Okay. Yes, so in the present moment, now in that walking meditation, Atitam Pahinad, I never forget I was holding my teacher's hand. And this is the only Pali I also properly learned because this was repeated so many times when I used to take him to the kuti. So when I was holding him, first he remembered when he come from the Dhanashala, when we enter the place where we go to his kuti, he stops and reminds me, Atitam Pahinantam, the past is gone. So that's all the memories what happened in the dining hall and everything. You remind yourself and let it go. You're not going to think about it. Okay? The future has not come. Okay? මේ වර්තමානයේ එතකොට තත් විපත කියන්නේ වර්තමානයට කිව්වම at least in the present moment you must see what you hear now. Like that. You start off like that. Then you can contemplate like this. You can add to, then you start in the walking, then the rest of it is there. How to contemplate. He makes like, there's a sequence you can see. How whatever is said like that you can try to do. ඒක අඩියටත් ගන්න පුළුවන් ගොඩක් වෙලා නෙමෙයි. ඒ පොඩි වෙලාවට ශබ්ද දැන් ඇහෙන ශබ්ද වලට ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක තමයි හොඳම. පේන ටික නිකන් හොඳට නෝට් කරන්න පුළුවන්.
සූත්‍රයක් කටපාඩම් කරගෙන අඩියට හිත තියන්නේ නැතුව ඒක කියව යන්න පුළුවන්.
ඔව් ඒක කියවන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියවන එක කල්පනා කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ගොඩාක් කල්පනා කරන ආයි පොඩ්ඩක් අඩිය ගැන කල්පනා කරන්න පුළුවන්. අන්න ඒ වගේ මාරුවට. බොහොම හොඳයි. ඒක හිතේ බොහොම හොඳයි. හිතෙන් ඒක අල්ලගෙන. ඒක හිතෙන් හිතන්න ඕනේ. ඒක දැන් ඒකේ පටිසම්පාදෙම තියෙනවා මේ සූත්‍රේ. ඔව් එහෙමයි ගන්නෙ මස් ඇසනේ. මස් ඇස ගිනි ගන්නවා කියන්නේ රාග ද්වේෂ මොහොනේ. ඒක අර එහෙමයි හිතන්නේ ඒක නිකන්. නැත්තම් ඒක නිකන් මේ මොකද ඒක කියන්නේ මේ ලයිටර් එකක් පත්තු කරලා එකක් වෙනව නෙමෙයි. කෙලස් වලින්. defilements වලින්. හැබැයි ඒක වටිනා සූත්‍රයක්. ඒකෙන් රහත් වුණා 1000ක් විතර. The what is this Aditya Pariyaya Sutta is a very special one. It has the full vipassana in it. Whole Paticcasamuppada is there. Skandha Sadhya Buddha's mastery, as a great master, how we and those yogis or they ඒගොල්ලන්ට බලන්නේ සීලය Buddha didn't tell about sila or samadhi because they already had that. Just that, and that was enough for them. And he related to what they were doing, like some kind of fire worship puja ඒ වගේ කරානේ. අනේ ඒ කියන්නේ ආර්යයන් වහන්සේලා ඒ කියන්නේ මේ නිවන් මඟ යන උත්තමයන් වහන්සේලාගේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඒක සලකන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන් සලකන ආකාරය තමයි ඒක බින්දෙනවා කියන එක. ඒක සම්මාදිට්ඨිය ඒගොල්ලන් අනිත්‍ය සංඥාවෙන් වාසය කරනවා කියන එක. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ලෝකේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ ලෝකේ අපි හිතන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ අපි සාමාන්‍ය අනිත්‍ය කටින් කිව්වට ඕක ඇත්තටම අපි එහෙම සලකලාද වාසය කරන්නේ කියන එක ක්වෙස්චන් මාර්ක් එකක්. උන්වහන්සේලාගේ මේකේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම තමයි. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ මිත්‍යා දෘෂ්ටියක් නැහැ. මිත්‍යා දෘෂ්ටිය කියන්නේ මේ නමින් නෙමෙයි. ඒ කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම. දැන් අපි නමින් බෞද්ධයි සම්මාදිට්ඨිය කියනවා. හැබැයි අරව ඇත්තටම මේක ආර්ය ශ්‍රාවකයන්ට තමයි ඒක ඇත්තටම එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. දැන් ඒක වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම ඒ විදිහට ගත කරනවා. හැබැයි අනිපාර උදේට එන්න වෙනවා මහත් මොකක් කර අසනීපයක්ද? නැත්තම් අමාරුද දන්නේ නැහැ නේ. උදේ පාන්දර හැම එකම පස්සට ගියාම හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ඉඳගන්නෙත් පස්සට උනාම සමා වෙන්න. මම ජෝක් සමා වෙන්න කියන්නේ.
So I'm asking in Sinhala but explain in English. Suttamaya ඥානය, චින්තාමය ඥානය, භාවනාමය ඥානය දැන් සමහර අපිට ගොඩක් කියලා දුන්නානේ. So අපි දැන් චින්තාමය ඥානය කියන්නේ භාවනාමය ඥානයට ඉස්සෙල්ලා දැන් අපි කියවලා දැනුම ඔක්කොම සුත්තමය ඥානය සානස කියලා දෙන එක. ඒක සානස භාවනාමය ඥානයට තමයි මේ ඔක්කොම දේවල් දැන් කියලා දීපු ඒවා. ඒකට අපිට හැමතිස්සෙම එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකෙන්ම තමයි දකින්නේ. ඒක සානස සක්කාය දිට්ඨිය නැති වෙන්න දැන් අපිට තියෙනවානේ සංයෝජන තුන ෆස්ට් එක. ඒක සානස අපි as a රූපය දැන්
මෙහෙමයි. ඒ සක්කාය දිට්ඨිය නැති කරන්න යන්න එපා. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මෙහෙමයි සෝවාන් වෙන්නේ මේකයි කියලා දැනගෙන මේක කරන්න ඕනේ මේක කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. දැන් මේ කරන එක්සර්සයිස් එක කරා නම් ඒක ඉබේම වෙනවා. ඒකයි කරන්න ඕනේ. ගොඩක් අපි අර ફોකස් එක වෙන්න ඕනේ. අපි නිවන් දකින්න හැටි බලින්න එපා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ඒක තාමනේ පුරුදුලා තිනවා. අපි නිවන් දකින්න විදිය ඒ වගේ. මේක මොකද පාඩමකින් මේක කරපු හින්දා. මේක අද යුගයේ ඒකයි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. අද පාඩමක් හැටියට මේවා කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මේක කමඨාණක් හැටියට කරා නම් එදා කොණ්ඩේ කපනකොටම නිවන් දැකපු අවස්ථාව තිබ්බා. ඒ වගේ මේක සරල කළා මේක බලන එකකට ගේන්න ඕනේ ෆුල් ફોකස් එක. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක එතකොට අර ඉබේම සක්කාය දිට්ඨිය. මොකද අපි ඇත්ත යථාභූත ඥාණයෙන් ඒවා පැහැදිලි වෙනකොට ඒක මේ ඒකට තමයි ඇවිදින්න කියන්නේ. ඔය භාවනාමය ඔය කියන්නේ ඇවිදිලා තනි වෙලා කතා නොකර ඉන්න. ඒ ඔක්කොම කියන්නේ භාවනාමය ඥාණයට ගේන්න. ඔක්කොම හිස් කළ සරල කළා මේකත් එක්ක බුදු සරණ සිරිපාදේ ළඟ තියාගෙන. එම ගියා නම් ඔක්කොම හරි.
අපිට ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ යථාභූත ඥානය බලන්න අමාරු සමාධි මත් නැති නිසාද?
බලන්න කියන්නේ ඒක ප්‍රඥා ඇසක්නේ. ඒතර ප්‍රඥා ඇසට ගොඩක් උදව් වෙනවා කාමයෙන් මිදිච්ච තරම. ඒකට තමයි වෙන මෛත්‍රී ආනාපාන සතියෙන් පොඩ්ඩක් සමාධිගත වෙන්නයි. වැඩි හදිස්සි වෙන්න එපා. දැන් මේ රිට්‍රීට් එකේ පොඩි ටේස්ට් එකක් ලැබෙයි ඒකට. ඉතින් මේ මොනවාද මේක වෙනම කියවන එකයි. ඒකේ ඒ විදිහට කල්පනා කරන ඒවයි. චුට්ටක් කරාම එක පාටම යම් මේ මොනවාද ඒ ඇස වැඩ කරන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක අද ඉස්කෝලවල ගන්නපු නෑනේ ඒක. ඒක සීලයක්ුත් එක්ක එන සමාධිගත වෙන හිතත් එක්ක ඒවා දිනපතා විඳින්න try කරන්න ඕනේ දැන් මේ පාර. උදේ පාන්දර මොන වැඩක් තිබ්බත් ගිහි ජීවිතේ ඒවා පටන් අරන් යම් ටෙස්ට් එකක් අරන් ඒවා කරන්න පුරුදු කරන්න ඕනේ. මාව ගෙදර ගෙනියලා ඉතින් ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න පුළුවන් තාම. හැබැයි මේ බුද්ධ වචනේ පොත් ටික ලැබෙයි මොන හරි කොපි එකක් මන් දන්නේ ෆොටෝ කොපි හරි PDF හරි මොන හරි එතකොට ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන්.
Last question, how can we acquire this book?
I think PDF, I think I think
we can share PDF if everyone
we have enough people, we can bring it to Sri
Yes, we
Lanka.
can contribute.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll
yes.
talk about it after the retreat.
With lot of profit, and they can send some money for me. Venerable
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තව එකක් අර සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දුන්නානේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් එකක් අර මේ Buddha's qualities. Do you have that in Sinhala? When you read that, it's like difficult, like kind of, to read with the Pali.
Which one, Arahang Arahoti or
The
what?
one early morning meditation, that paper. Yeah. Okay, Sinhala version, everybody, like I feel like it.
They might try to get it. There must be a Sinhalese one.
Yeah.
But the Sakman was not right, the
No,
previous
that
one.
was fine. Yeah, that was fine.
So one.
This one.
Okay. Because there's a short Paticcasamuppada Bhante says. That's not done in that print. I don't know which one, but that's why I had to correct it. That short means from Vijnana, consciousness, to rebirth. That's for the walking meditation, how we did it. So when that part I recorrected, I think they recorrected it. Okay. That's for the walking meditation.
So this is regarding the Bhikkhu Vakali's demise.
Yeah.
It is mentioned he used the knife.
Yeah.
So he got liberated after that.
Yes. How
How
come
Yeah.
So this question came to me also in one of the programs, this commit suicide, like some of the monks. So actually, and Buddha tells that he became an arahant, okay? So I would suggest this is no problem if you are an arahant. Okay? If you are not an arahant, then don't think about it also. Okay? If you are an arahant, you can, try to do it. If you are very sure you are an arahant.
Being in a retreat like this, I feel something great and I can finish off in 2 days.
Yeah, but why do you want to leave this moment to another moment like that, or to leave this place? Normally people want to leave this place, it's not out of some kind of peace or something. There's a negative emotion working. But arahant, we know that what means arahant means no greed, no hate, no delusion. Okay, completely. So such a person, how he take decisions, so it is justified, that's only he knows. If I try to reason out, but otherwise don't think about it at all, If you have this good human body, you must try to, this is very useful, you can do it. Sorry, all of you, anyone, any question?
So tomorrow can we do a walking meditation with you outside, with some practical idea?
I did already the walking, can you remember?
Yes.
I demonstrated, yeah, I showed. That time what happened? Were you sleeping?
How to practically use it.
Okay. That you got the paper, no?
Yeah.
Did you get okay? So you must stand and that time to, I told you listen to the sounds and just bring your attention to the present moment. Like that you must do the normal walk, and then you'd see your body and you contemplate the body, how the body is made up of. All that is written. You must try to little bit apply. Even a little bit you try to do it. It's okay. You see, tomorrow I have only 1 hour, I'll have to go for Pindapat? No, not tomorrow. And they say I have a program and so on, so let's see. I have given you all now, now you must now try to finish the Salayatana Vagga. Alright, these 6 sense organs. Let me tell you until which page, wait. Until Kothika. Which page is that? The one I last 254, 283 the Sinhalese. So it's a little bit, so if when quite a bit. So tomorrow, day after is there. day after lunchtime. So what you do is, even tonight if you have some time, little you can start reading. And read the Sammaditthi Sutta also, I told you before to read that part. And little bit with the walking meditation, some interesting ones you can do. But when you know you can't cover, you must make your time properly, just complete this. Okay, just read. If you don't understand also, doesn't matter. Alright, just read. This is based on a different thing. The Buddha doesn't tell to do like that. But Buddha will not recommend like 5 days now you come, it's not for your degrees, everything. How long did you spend? 5 years? And all that. So this is, I'm trying to just squeeze in something. So this is based on the experience I had with those particular India, my some karma, meetings. So they, even when you read without understanding like that, there's something that happens in your level of positive energy inside in you. So just to make sure you are, even a baby here who does it like that is bound to take something for their future. So I tell you now, if you had some blockages in your samadhi, in your spiritual path, in your material life, and this is my idea, my idea, okay, that this should clear your path. Just do that, all right. So tomorrow, day after that, but try to see, you do the little bit contemplation, try it. And you find, there are a lot of suttas I had to read. Then read fast. Then you find there was some more time that you read too fast. Then try to, go contemplating and do that. And I told you 6 to 12 is only 1 hour for the samadhi, sitting meditation, not more. But the people who have done this the second time is different. They don't have to rush or do anything. I think few are there, no, who are doing the second time or the third or fourth. You only, or is it you only? Anyone anywhere done before this retreat? No? Okay. So in your case, you can, don't rush. The interesting ones which you know from before also, you can go through that and sit down and we'll see. So you can read until page 254, the English, okay? 282 in the 283. Anything? I don't know. Yes?
Okay, when you do the walking, and then you try to be mindful and try to do the contemplation at the same time, do you forcefully bring something you read, or do you wait until something triggers in your mind?
Yeah.
And then follow that?
You must, when you find something interesting that you read, then you can get up and start pondering on that. So I see in this retreat there are some people holding the book, and I think that's also okay. But because you have to read a lot now in this and complete also something without even you don't understand. But if you want to do it the real way is actually you should read a bit, and it should be meditative, like emptying the mind early morning, like you're practicing getting samadhi. Okay, with that you read something and just you start your walking meditation. Suddenly the memory will come up, some of those analyzing parts that the Buddha has spoken of. Okay, so you have to try out like that, and then only you find how the mind will start to see the Dhamma from what you read. It's like that. So if you too much think and only study like that way, it won't do. If you only be mindful and sort of, then also you're not thinking enough. So you must allow the sutta reading to influence your thinking and contemplation. That's all.
One more question on this. So the kind of mindfulness you're talking about that helps with the contemplation is where you can kind of see yourself from outside?
It's a kind of a way you look at your body like from outside. You visualize your body, how it is. And more you can even, just the simple things you're seeing, the flow here, okay, and just the immediate sound you're hearing. And I told you if you're really relaxed and you will notice your bodily functions also, like the in-breath, out-breath, naturally. So you calm yourself, to the now. And so that has to be a real regular practice in your life when you're driving the vehicle or feeling the touch of the what is this, the steering wheel or the back of the seat, like this, those things, it has to go on in your life if you really want to, So you can start here, and when you go into the toilet, when you're getting up, and then, so this will help your samadhi also. Sati, that type of mindfulness will help, and sense control is the other one. First sense control, then these things. So that means you are not allowing things. You must learn to screen what you're seeing. And like you don't see the details, like you see when you're crossing the vehicles, but you don't see who is inside the vehicle, like that, for example. Okay, so that's why I told not to recognize people also. So I was not there to look really how you're doing it. So, but anyway, you must try that. More you do that, and then you do the mindful, reminding yourself to really be simple things, to watch that, observe that, place your attention. It will go back to your old habit. So you have to remind again and again. And so then it will increase a certain strength of mind, and you'll get a taste of that restful mind. And samadhi also will be close to that. Okay? So while you're doing that, then you must read separately. So when you try that, then you can read a bit, then little chanting, like that, a mixture of things. Okay, the later you'll know when to use, which type of mood or situation you are in, which one to use. Also you will know when which works in those times. By practice you will know. You have to start that journey. Then you'll be a master of peacefulness and joyfulness. And life will become very meaningful. Because you slowly begin to realize there's no meaning. You get it? And you are nothing to be serious of anything. Finally, only one truth will be happening, ending. I'll be doing my work in the dark. Anyway. Any question? Got enlightened all of you very quickly. It's okay, the reading, no problem, no, I think it's okay. Okay, then.
Bluetooth connected.
And all the merits that you have acquired by even a single day today and even 2 days, I think it's the highest type of merits or kusal or energy you can generate as a human being. So all that good karma, think of your parents, your relations, and there's hardly a being who has not been your relation in this samsara. So from the lowest to the highest, may all beings get a share of this good karma. May they get inspiration, strength to follow this noble path. And all the protective deities, the 4 directions, and the Sakka, the King of Gods, and Sahampati, Brahma Divya Raja, and all the divine kings in the Brahmaloka and also the Devaloka. The seen and unseen noble beings, noble souls, pure beings who protect this great teaching and this path, even in the absence of the Buddha. May those receive and get strength. And the Deva Senadipati Varu, Ishivaru, Munivaru, Siddhalla, Gandharvaru, Bhairavaru, Naga Nagin, Tisthum Kotya, crores of 33 crores of Devi Devatas, the divine beings, divine abodes, who Sammak Dustika, Sammak Alpeshakya, Maheshakya, Samyak Dustika. Sila Devi Devatan Mahansalada, me utum punya karame anumodang vetva. Sila Denama Rakavarane Atikaratva, Karunaving, Perumpurana, Uttameo, Devatwing Inva, Kavadhari Buddhuendine. May Gautam Buddha Sasane. There are divine beings who are protecting this teaching. One day they might become Buddha. They have perfected certain great qualities on the human plane. And in this dispensation, they will get good karma. This true teaching that will liberate beings out of compassion, that they will not face any more suffering. That the great master is followed. The master, remove of sadness from living beings. With 32 marks, the master who appeared on this planet, with mighty strength to overcome the Mara and then give these blessings to many beings as possible. May that great master be your refuge all the time. The master who had the feet with the conch shell, Sankha, and the Utum Chakra, the disc, that great being, may your refuge always be. And may your veneration come also to homage to all the great teachers who practiced this, protected this, great Theras, the great Mahatheras, who showed the great might of this noble Ocha robe, Rahadaje Mahime, symbol of the Arahants, that they practiced this, gave their lives to make it alive, liberated themselves and gave inspiration to the path. May you pay your homage to them, and may you get strength from them too. Sopatetva, Dukimidetva. And especially to my teacher too, I remember, starting from my father and mother, of course, from young age. My mother used to ask me, well, it was like this, who is the father of Suddhodana, who is not the father of Siddhartha? Like, I used to, answer her. And the three castles that I named Ramya, Suramya, Subha, so like a parrot, very small baby, from the first time I heard about the Buddha's life story. So through my mom, and saw her meditating too. So the inspiration, even I thought it was a girl's thing, it would have had an impact on my brain, definitely as a young, small kid. So definitely your parents who gave life to you, and teachers, and good friendship through great Kalyana Mitra, great Theros, even present, even in this part of the world, who have given you all inspiration, support. May they get strength and protection to pursue those noble activity without any obstacle, with the purest mind and getting it more purified, so that the real example and way is shown more than with the teaching more than any words. May that happen, these walking examples, walking chaityas, bodhi trees, even as upasakas who are practicing this, bringing peace to others. In the midst of chaos, if you demonstrate to have this purity, peace, wisdom, that will be definitely highlighted, will be felt by the beings around you as the best way, and without your any expectation. Devatan Vasalage Siru Rakavarnet, Buddha Dhamma Sangha, Trividaratne, Ananta Gunapalya, Silu Denatama, Sakti Dairelabitwa. And all the people in this country, may they get this support too. And all who are living here, may Christian faith, their real practicing faith, get some inspiration. All their souls, their purification, that inner joy and purity and protection from all the worldly things, especially to the leader of this country and the other leaders of other countries too, because they are the ones who decide. They have, may the devas and also the blessings of the noble, great mighty being, the Samma Sambuddha's dispensation creates some kind of force for them to, that they will follow this way and they will get to stick to the good way and protect the people in the nation and all other countries too. They are like one family, you must think, you must feel this. In so many births we have been, so in that way we should never forget anyone, just feel connected to everybody around us. Theruvan Saraning, Dharma Shaktiing, me silu denata peraping, Matuetwa, e Lanka Dvipe, Dharma Dvipe, e utum Dham Suwanda Araksha Karangapu, e utum eda tibba itihase, utuman mahanselage Sripada ada Manuluwa, Satyanta Darshana vena kalayak wetwa, Manushanta pahansita Buddhalambana Pritiya ඇති කරගෙන සියලු පෞසිතුරු දුරු කරන් නිර්වාණ මඟ අවදි කරන කාලයක් වෙන්න. මේ ඉන්න මනුෂ්‍යයන්ට විතරක් නෙමෙයි ලෝපුරාම ඉන්න මනුෂ්‍යයන්ට සත්‍යයට සම්බුදුන් වහන්සේගේ බුදු කරුණාවේ අරමුණ ඉෂ්ට වෙන කාලයක් වෙන්න. සුවපත් වෙත්වා. පින්වත් වෙත්වා. මේ නිව්යෝර්ක් ප්‍රදේශයේම මෑන්හටන් සියලු මනුෂ්‍යයන්ට මේ රටම නෝර්ත් ඇමරිකාවල ලෝක පුරා මනුෂ්‍යයන්ට බුදුන් වහන්සේගේ බුදු බලය, බුදු ශක්තිය සියලු සත්වයන්ටම සිසිලක් සුවයක් වේවා. බුදු මාතාවකින් ඒ පෝත්‍රත් ගර්භයෙන් බිහි වෙච්ච උත්තම මාතාව ධර්ම ශක්තිය සදෙව් ලෝකවලට, බ්‍රහ්ම ලෝකවලට, තුන් ලෝකයටම ඒ උතුම් බුදු රැස් ශක්තිය සත්‍තිසාවට වීදෙත්වා. Sunday. Have a pleasant night.